here. It's big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
5 players.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real-action cash game poker. My name's Bart, Hanson. I'm here with Dave Tuchman with his lame-ass shirt on. We're here playing a little Thursday 3-5 no-limit hold'em, a little 200 restricted behind game. What are you going to do, pull my T-shirt over my head?
If I have to.
Yeah.
Jesus, man, I'm telling you.
Thursdays where we get a chance for some of our fans that don't get to play the bigger games come in. And we're attentive to the game as always, but we sometimes might get to other things.
I might kick your ass.
Besides poker, that we might say not get to on a Wednesday night or a Friday night. So let's head over to the table.
Let's do it.
Get going.
I gotta tell you, man, no love. Last night some guy was ripping my Hawaiian shirt. Now you're ripping my sweatshirt. At least I have different clothes. Same black T-shirt, night in, night out. Okay, anyway, seat number 1, we've got Kelly. Kelly with the Dodgers visor going on. Plays tonight. Seat number 2, we've got Hector. And Hector donning that lame-ass Boston hat.
Kind of looks like an Avo look-alike.
Seat number 3, we got Daniel. And Daniel's also been on the show before. I think it's that I've got the bigger nuts T-shirt. Seat number 4, we've got, Hirosh. Is his name. And Hirosh got about $200 there. Seat number 5, we've got Andy. Andy also new to the game. Seat number 6, we've got RB. RB not new to the game. And RB actually got in a little confrontation last night with a player. Remember, you and I were sitting next to the table.
Yes.
And he and another player actually got into a little bit of a verbal competition. Had to be escorted out, exactly.
Yep.
Seat number 7, we've got Mr. Potato Head. We call him Jay Siegel. We call him Potato. There he is, the myth, the legend. Seat number 8, we've got Art. And don't know much about Art. We'll see how he plays tonight. Seat number 9, we've got Kyle. That's not Kyle, that's Mark.
Yeah, that is Mark.
But it's a heck of a try.
Yep.
We'll call him Kyle if he wants to be called Kyle. But that is Mark, and Mark is kind of a regular on the show. And we'll see how he plays tonight.
Well, 3-5 no limit, $200 max buy-in. Restricted buy-in game. Yellow chips are $5 chips here as we get into the first hand of the night. Seat 5 raised with pocket tens. We got a call on the button with Queen Jack. And Queen Jack has hit the queen here, Dave. Andy bets 30 and Art quickly calls. And it's almost like once you make that call with Queen Jack, you're almost committed to the hand that turns at 9. Andy checks, and Art checks right behind him, and the river is a king. And it just gets checked down.
I gotta tell you, if I have Queen Jack on the turn, I'm betting it.
Absolutely. I mean, stack sizes, you're not really looking to control pot size when you got $100 in front of you.
Now, I'm looking at this new, the new Poker Pro with Ted Forrest on the cover. There's a big article on Cheryl Hines. And after sucking out on her, I wanted to see if she actually, here it is. Here it is. Have been written about in like 6 magazines now. I'm in the latest card player. Here, in fact, Cheryl Hines has done very well at charity tournaments. However, Lady Luck was not with her at the recent Commerce Casino World Poker Tour Invitational, where her table included top pro Daniel Negreanu. Here it is. Cheryl was out in the first round when she went all in with a full house, Jackson 4s, and David Tuchman had a higher full house when he spiked on the river.
Does it actually say David Tuchman?
No, it doesn't.
No.
I added it up. But she took it in stride. No. Only in card player it says my name. Here it doesn't say my name.
It just says some opponent.
Well, I'm assuming whoever wrote this article probably interviewed her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know me, so she would just say some douchebag over there in seat 9 did it to me.
Art has flopped trip 9s. We had a bet here by RB, who raised it pre-flop with ace-queen. And Art has immediately raised with ace-9 here.
Gotta like that play. And I gotta tell you, if you're Mark here, you might be a little confused because you go, well, if the guy doesn't have a 9, would he bet a 9 this quickly? Maybe he's got a 5.
Well, Mark folded. Remember, RB was the pre-flop raiser. I mean, RB has almost nothing, but in this case, if RB had no overpair, he would call 10s, jacks, queens, kings, and aces. And RB doesn't have anything here.
I know I haven't been. I'll do $20 side bet.
And RB says,
I'll take
no,
that
I haven't
$20
beat.
side bet.
I mean, it's a bit sweet.
Really?
I know for sure. $20 side bet.
I know for sure. This is a great read.
$20, let's do it.
Give me $20.
No, actually, what had happened, Dave, last night, and it's interesting, it's one of the first times I've ever seen this happen, and it involved RB. The floor men were called over, and the head manager, shift manager, Mark Ventry, was called over. Basically, I think RB was in a hand with his buddy and a player in between.
Yeah.
And basically, the player in between, or his buddy bet, the player in between called, and I think RB moved in. And then RB and his buddy either started talking a foreign language, I don't know what foreign language it was, and the guy in between got real pissed off. They called the floor man over, and the bet did not stand. You cannot speak a foreign language. You're not supposed to do it at all, but especially during the hand. And, you know, and everyone that does it, who speaks a foreign language, you know, says, oh, I was just talking about something else. But come on. I mean, that's the purpose of the rule. You
It's
can't
not a
speak
matter.
another
It's
foreign
not a matter of
language.
whether you're cheating or not. It's the
The appearance of it, right?
exactly avoiding the appearance of possibly cheating.
Got a little raise here by RB with deuce 5 of diamonds.
Now the interesting thing is, if you're playing in Mexican poker, you can speak Spanish and you can speak English.
Right. Raise and a re-raise here by seat number 9. Mark has re-raised here with pocket 8s.
Now over on the other side, where they play Chinese poker, can you speak Chinese?
I don't know.
I'll have to find that out.
RB makes the call. He doesn't have any chips left. He raised with deuce 4. He hits a deuce. Mark re-raised with 8s. And now RB moves all in. I'm sure Mark is going to call here with pocket 8s. He does.
And RB's got 5 outs here. Need a deuce or a 4.
If he catch a running straight or something like that as well.
I guess, yeah.
The jacks?
Turns a jack. Now he needs a deuce or a 4. And the river's a 4, and there we go. Fitting way to start off Live at the Bike night with a bad beat on the river. As always, we like to keep the show interactive. You can email us at liveatthebike.com. You can also follow a live thread started on the internet by going to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on forums. Go over to Tournament Poker, World Poker Tour, etc. We've got a couple posts up there already. Banger and Bangor Tilson. Look at the Merlot man with his bogus Jets jersey.
This is just awful, man. I gotta tell you. Where is the love? Yeah. Boom.
But moves over here to C2. I can tell you, I think this guy really looks like Avo over there in C2, Hector.
He's got a little bit of an Avo lookalike there. Man, no love.
Dave, we're going to be doing one of these inserts again tonight at some point, maybe in an hour or so. One of the biggest hands we've ever had at Live on the Bike on Wednesday night whale game between Barry Woods and Ed. We're going to throw that in there. And we're actually going to be able to talk over the commentary as well.
That's great. Ace-Jack versus Ace-Queen here.
Yep.
Queen 10 as well.
Pajato brought this one in with Ace-Queen. Gets called by Ace-Jack and Queen 10 here.
And look at the worst hand, outflop small.
Yep. Art here has flop top pair. And Jay Siegel is going to continue.
So this is the problem. This is inherently the problem with this game. He's now put a $40 bet in there. The pot is now like $150. What do you do now in the turn? I mean, are you just committed here? I mean, it's almost like a little nooner
What
tournament.
is Kelly calls with Ace-Jack? I mean, he's got nothing. A red Ace-Jack, and the turn's a queen, but that is not the card that Jay Siegel wanted. He's got the nut flush draw, and Art doesn't bet with Queen 10. Art makes 2 pair, he checks.
And Pocheto, and the worst hand, the guy who has really no outs at all, he needs a king that is not a spade to win his hand.
Kelly bets as it gets checked to him. I mean, and Jay is going to fold top pair with the nut flush draw? I think he just saw the fact that he had the ace of spades. He didn't.
Maybe he did like a fake fold, then he saw the ace of spades. I don't think, yeah, there you go, Jay.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
I mean, he's actually in bad shape, but,
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, man. He's playing out of turn. No, he went like this. I don't know.
and,
Let's go.
All right, you got 2 pair there. Are you kidding me? I mean,
Does he go like this? I took his card back when he saw us calling. I don't know what.
It's an odd play, though. It is an odd play.
So I could go like this.
Theoretically, I'm going to throw this at you. Now, Brian's going to make the ruling and keep it in there, and I'm not going to say anything, but I'll say something to our viewers. Generally speaking, if you make a move that induces action, that stands. And he clearly made a fold move that induced the player behind him to call, and now he's moved all in. And look at that!
Art Fold, does he realize he has 2 pair?
He must put somebody
And
in
he
the
announced this, he told the other guy what his hand was. He said, I had Queen 10.
Well, Ace Jack can't win. And look at this move by Jay. He goes from folding the hands to moving all in, and now he's going to win the hands. Unless it's an awful beat. I mean, Art is out of the hand. Let's get him out of there. And you'll see here that Kelly has got a 9% chance of winning this hand.
But again,
no, he does not. How does he have 14%?
Offsuit king, right?
Yeah, that's 3 outs. That's 9%. Oh, he's got a 9 as well.
He's got a straight
double
draw,
9. So 3 9s and 3 kings.
And Ace Jack makes the call, and this is a gift for Jay Siegel. And the river's a 7. Well, if Seed 8 was upset about that, he should have probably called the floor man over, right?
Yeah, it's weird. Generally, if you put chips in there, or you make a move like you are, and it induces action, that movement can stand.
That hand is so strange. I mean, if you're going to call a raise with Queen 10, Dave, something you shouldn't do when you're not that deep in this game anyways, and then you make 2 pair on the turn, I don't understand. That was baffling.
Well, he also just smooth called the flop. I'm not quite sure why he did that. A board of 10-8-3 with 2 spades. I've got top pair. I got to see where I'm at.
I thought I won, and then you pushed the pot.
Wait a minute, what happened here?
I had queens.
They pushed the hand of the Ace Jack hand?
Oh, I thought you made
What a bizarro world in the beginning of Live at the Bike. Did Jay turn his hand over? What the hell is going on here, Dave?
I don't know. Not sure if Brian's smoking, but I'd like some.
I have no idea.
And I got to tell you, I know Jay was buying more chips. Like he just forgot about it. And I got to tell you, I got to put that on Jay there. It's his responsibility to make sure that the chips get moved to him.
But they can, when Brian if the cards were up, Dave, and everybody sees
still
it.
Jay's mistake. Right. Jay's still got to protect his own pot.
Right.
I don't know about you, but if I see $2,000 or I see $20 of my money going to somebody else, I'm going to say something.
All right, give me $1.
And they're going to chop it up here. Wow, what a strange, bizarro hand there.
Yeah.
Queen 10, and then the pot gets pushed to the losing hand. Ace Jack's in the hand, number 1. He didn't have anything on the flop.
I don't tell you. I mean, I got to tell you, the way Jay plays,
It's better than
he doesn't play that many hands. The ones he wins, he better take.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Email here from Josh Horenstein out of New Haven, Connecticut. He says, hey man, if I make the journey to LA, what are the chances I can play in this $200 no-limit game? And Josh, you can definitely play in it. You come down here, let us know you're going to come out here, and we'll put you on the list. We'll make sure you get in there. Now, we can't promise you it'll be a $200 game. It could be an $80 game, but I'm pretty sure it'll be one of those two.
Good old New Haven, Connecticut, home of Paul Narton. Used to play little low-limit stud in the back rooms of New Haven, Connecticut. 5-way action here, left around.
The way you say it, it sounds like a Tennessee Williams kind of rendition there. Maybe a little nostalgic for the old days.
Oh, man, turns a jack. I had a friend that went to Central, what the hell was it? Was it Southern Connecticut State, and a buddy that went to Yale, and a buddy that went to
I know you know him as a player.
another school down there. So I remember, I've been in there. I went to Toad's place a couple times in New Haven.
We'll see.
Checked around there.
A-side.
Ace high.
He's got a pair of 4s.
And 4s are going to take it down.
Yep.
And a butt start. That's what he called it.
Interesting start to this night. Again, the button's going to be in seat 5. And we will be playing one of the biggest hands that we've ever had on the show coming up soon. So stay tuned.
I really appreciate the emails that I get from all these people about my Under the Gun article. But I'm getting this one here from Leonard, and I really do appreciate it, Leonard. It's very well thought out, and obviously took a long time writing this. But he said here, he goes, the player limped in, and he didn't limp in. He was actually in the big blind. which is why it was.
Let's
really
give somebody a
the
little bit of background here.
Yeah.
We'll get to this after the stand. Ace Queen's going to bring it in for a raise under the gun in seat 8. And seat number 1 there, Kelly is going to call with a couple of 9s.
Right? So you did put somebody on a flush. I top 2. Queen 10. So that's what I'm saying. You did put somebody on a flush. This guy calls.
And here we go to the flop. King 7-5 here with a couple of diamonds. Well, Kelly is good here.
Yep, he is.
Only one overcard, but
65.
Art's going to bet 65. And look at that, Kelly quickly folds, whereas he called the ace-jack hand before.
Well, ace-jack's got a lot more potential. Anyway, I'll give you the background of this hand. I'm playing a 5-10 no-limit game. You can actually check it out under the gun, but for our listeners that don't want to go there, I'll tell you real quick. I'm in the small blind. 6 players limp in. I'm in the small blind with 9-5 suited, so I limp in. The big blind's also in there. He taps his hand. Flop comes out 9-9 jack or 9-9 queen, one of the two. Anyway, I bet right in with my trips. He raises me immediately. So I kind of said, okay, the way he was playing, I thought he had top pair. I call. On the turn comes like a 6. I check to him. He bets 200. I then check raised him up 500 more. Okay. He then moved all in. Hence my question. Basically, the pot is now $2,800. $800 for me to call. Now I can bet that I know he has a 9. I don't think he has a full house. I really only think he has a 9. Should I call for the chop? Now the pot's $2,800. So basically, I'm calling 800 to win 1,400. Now my kicker doesn't play, and the board is 9, 9, queen, 6. Somebody can try to do the math for me and let me know.
Andy raised pre-flop, and Mark called the blind with ace-5. Andy flops bottom set, and Mark leads right out into him. That's a bluff.
And this is one of those few times where I think even if the guy's bluffing you, even in position, I think you need to raise it. You don't want to scare yourself. If a heart comes off, a 7 comes off, or a jack comes off, or a queen or a 6, you really don't know where you're at.
And he is going to raise.
Yeah.
And Mark was on a stone cold bluff, and Mark is out of there.
Now, oftentimes, if you think somebody might be bluffing and you're in position, you can let them bluff off your money. But in this case, you don't want to scare yourself. Let's say the 6 of hearts comes off. Now you can't beat anything.
Of course, you can read David Tuchman's Under the Gun blog as well as look at our other features at live@thebike.com, the website. And Dave, it's an interesting question when you talk about what kind of pot odds do you need to get laid to call with trips when you probably know your kicker is not going to play.
Did you just say that?
What did I say?
What kind of pot odds you have to get laid? It is like a 15-second pause, and then you went on.
What pot odds do you need to be laid?
I gotta tell
I
you,
guess that doesn't work. Limped around there.
4 players.
I'm getting 2 to 1. Hey,
We have more tempo on this table than I've had on
only at Live at the Bike. See, on any other show, they would edit that out.
Right.
But you don't get that here. It's unedited, raw, unscripted.
Mark's going to come out bet here with top pair. He's going to make it 20 to go. And no one else has much of anything here. And he's going to take it down, I'm sure.
That was hysterical.
Wow, wait a minute. Look at this. Art's going to check raise him as a move here. He check raises him with 6-7, and Mark calls. But look at Mark's stack. I mean, he's committed to the hand now, Dave.
Yeah, that's
Can't really make a whole lot of moves. And now Art picks up a pair. And it goes check, check. And the river here is a 10, and now Mark fills up.
35.
And Art can't beat anything now because
No.
if Mark had and look at this, Art calls him.
River makes it a 10.
Wow.
I mean, this is a hand I just don't. Okay, if you're Art now, and I don't want to hammer these guys, but you've got to realize you wonder if Art is a little upset. He's steaming off because he threw away 2 pair before.
Right.
But you look at the flop there. It's 10-4-4 rainbow. You raise. Mark's bet, and Mark calls you.
Right.
Now, Mark might have been on nothing when he bet, but then you raised him and he called you. You got to say he's got a 10 or a 4. Well, now the 10 comes to the river, and he bets into you. So you're not even raising him off. Come on. You got to think about that.
Button moves over here to seat 8. And have you written your fight blog yet?
No, Mom, I'm
No.
sorry, I haven't.
Early limper
I got to
here.
tell you, that was probably, I know you didn't mean it, it's probably why it was, one of the funniest things you said in a year worth of life. Like, that was hysterical. Everybody's going to hear this in 3 minutes. You're going to see a bunch of reactions.
Limped around 4 ways.
That was hysterical.
Queen 8-6 rainbow. And seat 4 is going to bet $10 with pocket threes. Looks like he has the best hand here.
25.
That's Hirach.
But look at this. RB is raising with nothing, with King 10. Got a lot of bluffing going on in this game. Usually a game that you can't bluff in much because you're so inherently short chips.
Well, none of the bluffing's working, though, is it?
Well, this time it worked.
This is how it works. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
the guy went
pocket
pocket threes. Right.
Old trick. Could have been an old trick. You know, when you go like this, the other guy's like, goes
There we
back.
go.
He's got a card shark shirt on there.
I'm kind of psyched here. You know, for Jay Siegel there, he brought us in some like old school World Series of Poker DVDs from like 1980 and 81 and 82 and stuff like that. And here I got here's a World Series of Poker disc 1, 1973, 78, 79, 81, 83, and 87. And then we have here 88 through 93. Man, I tell you. And then 94 through 99. I got to tell you, I'm going to be sitting, playing a little Poker Stars.
You're sweating too.
Watching little deep stack Poker Stars tournament.
Exactly. I'm watching some World Series.
Art is raised here to 20 with King 5 suited. And Kelly's got pocket deuces here. He makes the call. And look at this. Art flops trip 5s right away. Is he going to bet it in position? He does. He's going to continue to bet here.
Oh, Kelly's got he has nothing here.
Is he gonna get involved though, thinking that Art might have 2 high cards?
Hey, but what do you? I mean, you almost have to raise all in here, don't you? With twos, if you think your opponent has nothing, you almost have to raise. You can't just call.
I think you do, right?
You have no idea where your opponent's at. But unless you get your set on the turn,
Yeah, and he's gonna raise, Dave. He's gonna raise, and Art quickly goes all in here. And I think at this point, I think Kelly might be able to lay it down because you can't beat anything.
yeah, it's an easy lane.
Art made an immediate all in here. Makes it 100 to go. The pot is almost $300, 100 to call. Is Kelly going to make this call? He's getting 3 to 1. Actually, more like a $350, $400 pot, 100 to call.
Yeah, but at this point though, okay, you're getting 3 to 1, unless the guy's got Ace King of Hearts.
Right.
And he's bet, you've raised, and now he's re-raised all in. I mean, if you have a 5 or a jack, it makes no difference.
And look at this. Kelly is going to call, and he's got 2 outs here to the win. Chances are he'll get there. Here we go to the turn. Turns a 6. Kelly needs a deuce and a deuce. Oh, and the river's a 3.
Nope, and Art wins it. Okay, so according to Ronnie here, and I guess it's Rip the Commentator's Week. According to Ronnie, he says he checked out the Pokulator over at liveatthebike.com, and it's 20 to 1 against you getting lead.
So I see that Barry Woods is in the thread. Again, Barry, if you weren't here, didn't hear us earlier on the show, we're going to be rerunning an old hand that must be one of your favorites, you against Ed, one of the biggest hands in the history of Live at the Bike.
And Barry calls! Barry calls!
Well, yeah, he did call on the river, but Barry did lose his hand.
Barry lost his hand?
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe you went all in.
Exciting hand.
We're on the turn, right? That's all right.
How did Barry finish up last night? I don't know.
18. Trip 5.
Supposedly him and Jonas are sleeping together now, I think.
Seat 6 is going to raise here. He's going to make it 18 to go, Dave. Like the blue chips play in this game.
It was a deuce.
He has ace 6 offsuit, and no one's going to see a flop here.
Now, Baron Banger tells us here, regarding my my Under the Gun article, Merlot Man's article, Under the Gun article, he says he savagely rivered the guy in the river after calling me all in on the turn with like the 10th nuts, and he was correct, obviously. I did river the 5 and won it with a full house. The bigger question was, knowing that, you know, I'm pretty much only going to win the pot if I hit a 5.
Right.
What percentage of the time do I have to chop it to make the worthwhile call? Because remember, I'm getting, I mean, the pot's 2,800, it's 800 to call, and then I'm looking at it going, well, if the guy's got less than a queen in his hand, let's say he has 10-9, I'm sorry, 10-9 or 9-8, will I chop it with almost anything?
Pocket kings here for Andy in seat 5. And I think he made it 15 to go. And look at this, seat 6 is going to re-raise, mini re-raise with pocket 9s. And seat number 8 is going to call the re-raise with queen jack offsuit. When it gets back over to Andy, he's probably going to push here with kings. And look at this, Jay is all in here. He's got ace 10.
Jay?
Or excuse me, seat 1 there, Kelly. And is Kelly 200 behind you?
It's never a good sign when you push all in and you reach into your pocket for $200.
Well, I guess
There's some confidence for you, huh?
Well, the question was did Kelly announce money beforehand?
Right, I know. I just thought it was funny though. You go, I'm all in, and then you reach in your pocket for more money.
Andy's going to push all in here. Andy pushes all in. Pocket nines quickly folds, and Kelly is all in on the side, or actually in the main pot, but he's short over there in seat one.
And is Art going to gamble? How much money does Andy have?
Andy's all in for another 200. So.
Oh, it's an easy fold. Come on.
Odds are good, huh?
And Kelly's going to need to spike an ace here. It didn't look like there were any dead from what I saw.
Yeah, Art folds.
I can't call.
That's okay. He's all in.
Here we go. Kelly needs an ace or 2 10s or some sort of straight.
Don't forget straight though. We saw a queen, a jack, and a king already.
Yep.
Two kings are dead.
Maybe the bottom end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, kings.
Here we go to the flop.
Pocket nines.
9-9-7, and that's true. Seat 6 did have pocket nines. He would have made quads.
I swear to God, I actually.
He's lying. He didn't have pocket nine.
Right. And Andy takes it down there with the kings.
I told him, man. 39. He's not that. 39. He's not that.
Oh, yeah, I smoke all
See that blue tall guy over there?
No, actually, that one is
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Baron Banger talked. He kind of defends me there a little bit. Where's your article you promised Shirley? Like
Over a year ago, right.
I actually wrote an article for her.
Yeah.
If you want to check out the article I wrote for Shirley, you can check out the poker-babes.com, that's Shirley Rosario's site, and check out my article. Check out her blog.
I mean, I have to get some pairs.
Look at the little location of B-Dub 1 on 2 plus 2. On donking off $9,000 with crap. That's a little subtitle.
Yeah, he usually changes it. I think that's an old one now.
15.
Actually, I'm curious what everybody thinks. I wrote an article on value betting over on Shirley's site. I'm curious what everybody thinks. Let me know.
Limped around here, Dave, and seat 4 is going to raise it up to 45 with pocket jacks. We got a lot of guys seem to be playing loose here. Is Andy going to call? He just won with kings. He's got queen 10 suited here. Again, a $45 raise in this game, Dave. I mean, you can almost call with absolutely nothing unless you're really deep stacked. Or unless you think you have the best hand. You can't really make a call with a hand that requires implied odds. Hector rightly gets away from 7-8 suited.
Well, this is one of those games we talk about adapting to the game you're playing at. This kind of game here, obviously, you wouldn't try to run this game over. You really just kind of sit there and wait for a hand. And when you get a hand, you'll probably get paid off. And you kind of wait until you get $500 or $600 behind, and then you can start playing poker.
Bud's going to move to C4.
It looks nicer.
Of course, you can be one of our friends. Join us on our MySpace page, myspace.com/live at the bike. Become one of our friends.
Sit down, Jay. Don't need a manual?
Pocket 10s here in the big line. And the button is going to raise it with the good old 6-3 offsuit here. Makes it 35 to go. Is seat 6 going to just push here with 10s? No, he's going to call. Now, this is interesting because he's got about $100 left here, Dave. So he's just made the smooth call with 10s. Is he going to check fold for maybe a Broadway board here if it comes out? And we can see that Harash there has got nothing. King 4-4 here. 10s check. And seat 4 is going to continuation of that.
What?
And now it really puts RB in a tough spot. He just smooth called it pre-flop with 10s. There's an overcard here. And again, it might be almost one of these things. Do you just push all in here or fold? Or do you, I guess, you let the guy keep bluffing? By not raising pre-flop here, he's put himself in a really tough spot.
Yeah, so lucky she didn't confiscate that right now. All you have to do is flip it over. She's right behind you.
She's gonna press the button.
What is RB going to do? And RB's going to get away from it, and he shows the 10s face up, Dave. And that is one thing as I continue to play more and more no limit. If I'm going to make a laydown, I'm not necessarily saying that that is a big laydown. But if I'm going to make a laydown, I usually don't show. I actually had pocket queens, Dave, earlier today in the 5-10 game. And I raised it up about 60, and I got 4 followers from the flop. Jack, deuce.
I had the same hand as you.
Got checked over to me. I bet. Everybody folded, and a guy min-check raised me from up front, and I folded the hand and showed me a jack. I did not show the queens. Everyone thought, oh boy, did you have like overcards or pocket 9s, pocket 10s?
I always tell people I had deuce 5.
Right.
I think I had deuce 5.
So you just obviously you don't want to get to have an image where you can be run over.
No, we saw last night.
down.
We saw that guy Kevin last night,
Right.
and you wonder if he's a target because he lays down big hands. You wonder if maybe
Why are you raising with that first?
Russ, who hasn't made a move since like 2002, made a move against him specifically.
Just push pre-flop.
Got a little $15 raise here on the button by Andy with ace 9 of hearts. He's dominated by Art, and we're going to see 5-way action, $75 pot here. King 5-7 here. Nobody has a king. Looks like Daniel might have the best hand here in C3.
I think you are correct.
See if it gets checked to him if he bets here. Now, remember, the button was the pre-flop raiser. He does not bet. Turns a queen, and 6-7 is still the best hand.
Yeah, but it come out kind of a raggy card. You can probably bet if you Daniel, but the queen is kind of a scary card.
Well, now Arby here is going to come out and bet on the nut flush draw.
Why not?
Art is asking how much Arby has left, but Art doesn't have anything here about a straight draw here. And now, you know, if Daniel played it this way, he's just going to get away from it.
On the flop, man.
And that semi-bluff is going to take it down.
Pocket 9 seems.
Oh man,
There it is.
good on the flop.
At least check.
I'll tell you, I like it when we have really sweet, quiet people on the show.
Yeah. Always nice, right? A collection of Georgians on the show.
Again, man.
Yeah, well, like that. Who was that lady we had a couple nights ago?
Why don't you put something out there?
Kim D.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was quiet. She didn't rock the boat.
Oh, jab, what jab? Queen? 25.
Button's going to move over here to seat 6. $25 raise here by seat 2 with ace queen.
Wow, he's alive, dog. He's here. You're alive, huh?
And Arby is going to call with 7-10 of clubs here. Now again, I don't want to necessarily hammer these players too much, Dave, but you really can't make those calls with hands like that in this game unless you've been playing a long time and this guy's got 800 behind you.
Well, I mean, you can if you just want to play and have a good time.
Right.
You can if you want to make money.
Yeah. Kelly does not call with pocket 3s. 3-way action here.
Well, it's always an interesting question. Everybody misses this flop. Actually, Hector, I'm sorry.
Well, Hector's not there.
He'll probably bet. I can't imagine Arby or Art calling this.
There's a little weak bet out there. He bets 25.
And
And is this going to induce Arby to raise him?
it is.
55?
Arby makes it 55.
With absolutely nothing.
Flop is ace 5-6 with 2 hearts. And let's see if Hector's going to push all in now.
That's pretty much all you got to do in this game is you kind of sit there, wait to hands, and then get paid off.
Yeah, Hector comes over the top all in.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Okay. No, he just called.
I thought he said he put him all in.
No.
Oh, he just called. Okay. Turns a king.
That doesn't change anything. If you were behind the ace-king before, well, now it's just less likely that he has ace-king. That changes nothing.
Looks like Hector has, what, 100 stack over there and a couple
I've
extra
actually
yellows?
heard people say that they have ace-queen and the king comes up and goes, oh, man, now I can't be ace-king. What?
Right.
You know, it makes you really wonder here.
And now Hector called the bet on the flop, and now he moves all in, I guess, maybe thinking,
No, I like
not
the
hard
play.
on the turn.
Exactly. I don't mind that play at all. If the guy's got a straight draw or a flush draw, and Arby's not, is obviously not going to call this.
Yeah.
Rock and roll sushi.
I'm nervous.
Me?
You don't want me to call?
Call it, see that? I don't know.
Hector has
You want that
absolutely
heart.
nothing.
Heart.
He's drawing dead, and he gets rid of it.
Ace king.
Want to see what?
I've never seen a Red Sox hat like that before, Dave.
No?
Yeah.
You should push me on the flop. I call you.
On the flop.
You know, it was funny. You were checking out this new edition of Poker Pro. We were talking about this little picture in the table of contents that Evelyn ate.
Tips.
And it was just like,
He needs a basketball.
how did she ever be? And believe me, I love women. Everyone knows I love Evelyn Inc.
All right.
And I love Asian women, but she just doesn't do it for me. I'm sure she's a very, very sweet girl.
She is. I spoke to her on the phone. I told her I almost bought a seat from her for the World Series.
Watch it. You'll find out tonight.
Last year she had won 2 seats and she was trying to sell one.
Right.
And she offered me hers at a discount. I was going to buy it. And just literally like the next night, 2 nights before I was actually going to meet her and buy it, I won a seat. So I didn't buy it from her. I ended up talking to her on the phone. She's really sweet. She's really nice. But once again, the reason she's who she is because, she got invited to that invitational. She was friends with Daniel Grano.
Finished second in the
She
invitational.
finished second in a 6-person invitational. She's like 6'9".
Right. Queen 8-7 here. Kelly raised it with...
And she's a woman that plays poker. She basically plays a man's game, which is, that's always going to get you attention.
Kelly raised it with ace-king. Art called him with jack, deuce of spades. And Kelly moves all in here, but Art has nothing.
I mean, no disrespect against Evelyn Ng, but I would take Shirley Rosario, every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
I'm sure she'll be happy to hear that.
That's not even close. Come on.
Kelly takes it down there with the ace-king.
Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuchman. I'm here with Bart Hanson. And you are watching No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 3 and 5. This is a restricted buying game, $200. We like to mix it up. Like last night we had a big game. Tonight we have kind of a smaller game.
Right.
Try to cater to all of our audiences.
Monday, of course, we have limit. Wednesdays and Fridays are our bigger games.
Right. Tomorrow night obviously will be a huge game.
10-20. Again, I think this is the last day that Mo won't be here tomorrow. He'll be back next week. So if anyone wants to play in that game, you can call the Plaza and ask for me or David.
I mean, we both understand that obviously it's probably a little more entertaining to watch thousands of dollars being thrown around rather than hundreds. But at the same time, most of the viewers we have, I would assume, are probably closer to playing this game than they are sitting in a 25-50 blind game.
Right.
And these are the players that you're going to be most likely playing against.
Everyone's tied. Going to download, we're going to do a chip count here in a second. I'm feeling a little, weird tonight, Dave.
Are you?
Yeah. There we go, $2,000 on the table. Art's leading the table here with $350. Let's take a look at the differences now. From the start of the show. Okay, Art's up 150, even though he laid down that hand with Queen 10.
How is Progetto only up 60?
Maybe again sometimes we take the beginning point from before the show, so you might have been down before that hand.
That makes sense.
Look at this, a limp here by seat 4 with pocket aces, and the button is raised to 30 with crap, Queen 5. So C4 is probably going to get the limp re-raise, or is he just going to play it tricky? No, he looks like he's going to mini limp re-raise here.
Makes it 80.
And Mark has absolutely nothing.
This is one of the times if you're Mark, you go, okay, I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar, let me throw it away. And this is the kind of part, Mark is always asking you and I for advice. And I always tell him, I go, well, watch the show, because when you're in a hand, we talk about you. And right there, I just don't see a point. First of all, there's no value to stealing the blinds in this game, right?
No.
There's zero value. The blinds are 3 and 5. We're talking about $8. You drop $1, so you're going to win 7. You've now risked 45 to win 7. Obviously.
And again, in this game, I mean, Mark, he's got to realize you're not that deep. He's not that deep. The other guy's not that deep. You're raising with Queen 5.
Well,
So
that's the second point of it.
Even if you get called and you make a continuation bet, now if the guy calls you, I mean, you would basically try to commit over half of your stack on just a button bluff, which...
Well, I mean, you can make a raise. I mean, even if your hand's connected in some way, if you have Queen Jack, or even 6-5 or 5-4, there's some sort of connection. But Queen 5's a hand that has almost no value whatsoever. You're committing $45 to it. At best, I guess the guy folds and you win $7.
Look at this, Art raises with 7 deuce offsuit and shows it, and he takes it down.
Now, I can understand that. Now, I'll throw a different play at you. Now, let's say you get limp, so you've got 5 limpers, right? Plus the big blind, and now you're on the button with say, 7-6, and now you make it $50 to go. Well, now you're risking 50 to win, say, 35 or 37.
Right.
A little bit different.
The only thing, though, I got to tell you about that, I don't necessarily even know if I like that play when you're not that deep game, because players in this game are pretty much almost, they're not necessarily good enough to get away from top pair weak kicker, and sometimes they'll call you down with middle pair. So if you're raising there,
you're right.
You don't hand, you're just blowing off your stack pretty much.
I agree with you. I don't like that play either. I mean, I will. I will actually never steal blinds in this game. There's just no value to it whatsoever. But hey, I like that play better if there is some at least dead money in the pot. Especially, let's say somebody straddled and like 4 limpers in there, and there's $40 in there. Okay.
Seat 4 check top pair, went check, check. Now he picks up 2 pair. And he bets, and did Mark call there with the king jack, gut shot to the 10. And Harash there's got queens up, he's going to bet again.
40.
He bets 40.
And that's another play where you're watching Mark's play. What are you calling on the turn for?
Yeah.
You're calling for what? A king? Or a jack? Or a 10? I mean, what are you calling for?
Maybe he thought that a king would be good or a 10 would be good.
Okay, so you're calling 7 outs?
Right. A $45 bet. Remember, you do that hand and
And you got to realize, obviously, now maybe if you catch your 10, there are some implied odds. But if you catch your king and it's good, there's no implied odds anyway.
Right. But you have to make, if you think you only have 7 outs there, I mean, you have to make, the guy bets $45. You got 7 outs with 1 card to come. You basically have about 1 chance in 6.5, so you got to make 5.5 to 1 off that bet plus the pot. You've got to make almost $300 in the pot after you call that bet. You're just not going to make it.
And I guess if you can look at it and go, well, I thought the guy was weak, I didn't think he had anything. Well, then raise him. You can't call $40 and expect to win it with king high.
Raise him like Hollywood Russ did yesterday with his opening straight.
I mean, obviously it wouldn't have worked there, and I wouldn't be an advocate for the play, but it's better than just calling $45.
We had a raise here by Daniel. Pocket 7's on the button.
Interesting, there's an article actually in the Poker Pro by John Fan, and the question is, lay down pocket kings? Question mark. And we saw last night it's a first on Live Debate. We actually saw Kevin in seat 9 lay down pocket kings pretty flop.
Look at this. Art has called the raise with 9-7, and he leads right into this board. And that might do it here, Dave. Unless Daniel thinks the guy is just full of it. But Daniel doesn't have that many chips left. He's facing 2 overcards here. He's going to lay it down, and the bluff works for Art.
There's another thing about Baron Wenger, about Evelyn. Baron Wenger talks about it on 2+2. Let's not forget that Evelyn is actually featured on Daniel Negreanu's Stacked video game that's coming out. I think it's for PlayStation or whatever.
I think she's already in a video. I mean, actually, there are quite a few poker video games. I think she's already in one, like a WPT.
What does she want? That's it. I've got to check out the Ended Mob. This is driving me nuts.
Well, the answer is nothing.
She must have won something, right? Let's go.
But moves over here to seat 4.
So basically, if I start sleeping with somebody that's really famous, I can become a big poker pro.
Oh, man. These are fighting words now. Limped around here. Well, maybe she's a successful cash game player. I mean, that was kind of like Gene
I
Gluck.
saw her actually play in the 8160 limit game. That's what she was playing when I was down in Vegas. She obviously knows how to play the game. I'm not saying she's not a good player. She obviously knows how to play. But, I mean, we know a lot of players like Kathy Colbert.
Right.
Okay, Shirley Rosario. I mean, I just don't understand why she... Well, we'll see. I'm curious.
We got a bet here by Arby with King 3. And this is the night of bluffing there tonight. He had nothing. 3 high spade draw. But for example, like Gene Gluck, I think that she's going to become a little more prominent now that she plays more tournaments. Nobody knew her, but supposedly she plays the 100, 200 game. Steve, what about Liz Liu? I mean, she only got known when she went and played the World Series this year, but supposedly she was playing 400, 800 limit hold'em.
Okay, now she did come. I'll give her a little props here. Evelyn came in 11th place in September 19th of last year, Borgata.
Yep.
And as actually had no limit hold'em. She came in 11th place and cashed in for about $65,000. So she's only 5 away from the final table there. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, once again here, 22nd. Paradise Island, Poker Stars Caribbean Adventure. The only thing I will say about her is I think that she gets put into a lot of these tournaments by the sites.
By the sponsors. The other thing, too, is, I mean, if you play in every single tournament, I mean, sometimes it's like, well, yeah, you're going to play sometimes, right?
I don't want to. I mean, I hate to like prop ourselves, but I got to tell you, you put me in 100 tournaments, I'm going to cash in a bunch also.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
RB's going to come out and bet here. Middle pair. And he's going to take it down.
You know, and
Well, she's never won one.
Big or small?
And she came on she burst on a tour here in September of '03 when she came in second of the World Poker Tour Invitational, Ladies Invitational. Second out of 6 people, so that's no big deal.
Button moves over here to seat 6.
And her big finishes here, she came in 22nd in a no-limit event down to Paradise Island, cashed in for about $18,000. And then obviously the 11th place last September.
I don't believe a word you say.
As for the World Series, last year's World Series, she had 3 cashes. Now I'm not sure how many. I'd love to see how many tournaments she actually played. Like, did she enter them all?
Seat 3 raise here with King 6 of clubs all in, Dave. Again, a move I never understand because you can always rebuy in this game. So if he has about 75 left or 60 left, why would he push it in with King 6 suited? And Andy calls him with Ace King. So here we go. Andy's in great shape. He's got Daniel dominated here. You know what I mean? You can always rebuy in this game, so I never really understand why people just haphazardly throw their chips in. Wow, ace 5-8. Daniel's got the nut flush draw. He needs a club here. Nope, doesn't get there. Ace King's going to win there for Andy.
Okay, so then I clicked on her World Series of Poker. I guess her events. These are all the events she played in, right? I would assume.
No, these are all the World Series of Poker events. I've never seen any site that gives that information.
It doesn't, okay.
Because I don't think there's a record. Although now places are becoming computerized, so they might be able
Well,
to
it's
do
clearly
that.
a record. I mean, the World Series knows exactly how many events you played.
Well, they did this year.
Yeah.
But, like, say you come and play. I mean, I remember Legends just started using a computer.
Yeah, I guess
It used
so.
to be handwritten out. There's no record necessarily of who exactly played and didn't cash in every event.
Right.
You know.
Good point.
Daniel's got pocket queens here in seat 3. He just went bust. I assume he's buying in for 200 or 300. You can bring your stack up to 300 in this game. He raises to 25. We got pocket 10s here for seat 6. He makes the call. Hey, look at Jay Siegel. Excuse me, Jay Siegel's got pocket 10. Seat 6 has got a king 7 of hearts. And here we go 4 ways. Daniel, the pre-flop raiser. Wow, Arby's flopped the nut flush. He called the raise with king 7 of hearts, and he flops the nut flush. Let's see how he's going to play it here. Now, is Daniel going to come out and bet here with queens with the queen of hearts?
I think you should. I think you put a little bet out here with the queens here. You're kind of hoping, first of all, you might have the best hand. Second of all, if you don't have the best hand and somebody's got a weak ace, but you have a redraw to the heart, or maybe you can price your own draw in there. Now, in this case, obviously, he's in really bad shape.
Well, Arby's all in. Look at it. He's trying to put the act on here. But, I mean, this bet is going to put him all in. And he does. Oh, does he have more chips on top of his cards there? He's got about 20 left, Dave. He just calls. Now, here we go to the turn. Turns a jack. Well, Daniel still has outs to win here. He can catch a queen. He's got 2 outs to the win here on the river.
That would be a really bad beat, wouldn't it?
Yep. Here we go to the river. It's a heart.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Second nut flush to the queen. Daniel throws it away. Hey, in defense of Evelyn Ng, now that I've been bashing her for the last half hour, I will say she's got about $100,000, over $100,000 in lifetime earnings. And your little girl, Jean Gluck, has all-time winnings, brace yourselves, folks, of $3,670.
Dave Chance, they don't play tournaments. I mean, that's like going to my Hendon Mob site and looking how much money I've won there and saying, oh, he's garbage because he doesn't want any money in tournaments. I don't play tournaments. She hasn't played tournaments.
I never claimed she was. I never claimed she was garbage. All I'm saying is, yeah, that's right. Never claimed she was garbage. All I'm saying is, that, mere fact, look how defensive you get. Jesus.
Limped around 5 ways.
No, obviously. I mean, I know a lot of players that. I mean, I don't play many tournaments either. Right. But it was more of the fact that I guess the question was, why is Evelyn Ng so famous? The same question is, why is Jean Gluck so famous now?
Ace 6-3 here on the flop with a couple of spades. Mark's got a flush draw. He bets right in. Now, Kelly has Ace 10. He makes the call.
Monty's watching.
So here we go, top pair against flush draw.
Back, he's calling with
Turns a king. Let's see if Mark, how he's gonna continue to bet or is he gonna check?
Might want to put a little bet in there and kind of price yourself now.
Wow, Mark does not chase the dry flush draw there with one card to come.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, probably there aren't many implied odds there if he gets a spade for ace 10 to call him on the river, right?
Oh, Jesus.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is that, yes, a lot of these women don't have incredible tournament, they don't have incredible tournament results. They're famous because they're pretty.
Well, that was my point. I'm not distracting them from the fact that Evelyn Ng might be a phenomenal poker player.
Right,
yes,
right.
she might be. They're phenomenal players. Hey, there are a lot of players we see every day that are great cash game players, and Jean Gluck also might be a great cash game player. I don't know. The fact of the matter is that Evelyn Ng and Jean Gluck are both famous. Why are they famous? How many cash game players do you know that are famous? No, people are getting famous today because they're tournament wins.
Right.
Well, neither one of these girls have any tournament wins to show it. Obviously, there because their looks.
You need a coffee, sir.
10-9-4 here. Boy, that doesn't ever happen in any other industry, right? Like entertainment.
I'm not disputing the fact. I guess my only thing is I understand. I love seeing women getting attention for their accolades. I just wish that other women would get it as well. Naming people like Kathy Colbert, people like Shirley Rosario.
Right on the board. Hey, Jay, did you play yesterday? 15.
Got a $15 bet here by Daniel. It got checked around on the flop. And Daniel has the best hand here with fives.
Omaha.
Art has ace-8 here. He's trying to think about making a call over there in seat 8.
And he's got the garbage side of the opening straight draw with two clubs out there. It would get dangerous.
Like an hour and a half.
But he does make the call, and the river's a 3. And actually, it was Hector that came out and bet with King 8, excuse me. So Hector's going to have to bluff at it here. The river was a 3 of clubs.
There it is. Hey, but Art can't really call this. I mean, Art's got nothing. Is Art thinking of making a move, though? A little re-raised bluff here?
Bluff versus bluff.
The ace high is the best hand. And Art's probably thinking, I can't just call this. Wow, he throws it away. I think his instincts were right. If he had trusted his instincts, he probably would have gone and thrown it.
And Hector takes it down there with King high.
I mean, hey, Bart, I'm not naive. I'm not expecting myself or you to get the attention that an Evelyn Ng or a Jean Gluck are getting. I'm not even looking for that.
You raise that full.
Nothing.
Button's going to move over here to seat 1.
King 8.
Well, I think kind of what Shirley's, she never, really said it out loud, but I used to kind of ride her to get what her opinion is. I'm like, look at these women that get invited to the Invitational. Why haven't you been invited?
I mean, I'm not sure, but I think Evelyn Ng is actually, she has a sponsor from one of the poker sites that pay for all her
Poker
entry
Stars,
fees.
I think.
Pays for all her entry fees in these tournaments. How much easier is it to play in a poker tournament when you know your $10,000 fee is paid for?
Right.
Man.
And the reason why I'd always ask Shirley that is because I think that she, she definitely deserves to have been invited, to one of these things, especially working at the bike. But she never has been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Buy heavy.
And I don't know what the lineup is going to be this year. I don't know if it's already planned.
Yeah, well, the thing Shirley's always trying to do, and I think it's one of the reasons why she left us, obviously, and tried to go to the poker circuit, well, she's trying to get a final table on whether it be the World Poker Tour or the World Series, where she can get some notoriety, get herself out there, and possibly get some sponsorship. And also, obviously, get some notoriety for her website.
Limped around here.
We also talk about the other benefits of playing.
Ancillary money.
Exactly.
5-way action here.
All clubs.
Ace, Jack, Deuce here. Daniel's got the second nut club draw in seat 3.
You know, Arby's got an ace here. Is he going to bet? I think he bet, right?
Yeah, he bet. He let out with ace 8 offsuit. Boy, that is real dangerous. Playing that hand from up front and then leading into that flop from up front.
I mean, if you're going to play that hand, I don't mind the bet. You throw a little money in there. If you get called at all, you're pretty much done with it. The problem is you could easily get called by an ace. You could also easily get called by a king.
Kelly is going to check, seat number 3 there. Daniel check raises.
38 more.
Makes it 38 more here with queen of clubs. And at this point, though, in this game, probably RB's going to call. I mean, getting 3 or 4 to 1, the guy's all in.
Yeah.
He makes the call.
And Daniel's only got a flush draw here. That's pretty much it.
And that's what you have to hope for that you're up against if you have ace-8 here. Turns 3. River's a jack, and ace-8 is good there,
Yeah,
Dave.
RB's going to take it down. Take it down, Mr. Brown.
Look at Jay Siegel. Look at the patience of the potato man over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this game it's actually the right way to play it. But like you said, like a potato, you know what? To properly eat a potato, you've really got to bake it for 45 minutes, okay? And if you're twice baking the potato, I mean, you're baking it for 45 minutes, you're scooping out the inside, and you got to put it back in the oven for another hour. I mean, Jesus. No other vegetable has that patience.
A double baked potato.
Exactly, twice baked potato.
Yeah.
And asparagus? No way. No patience for an asparagus. And asparagus will move all their money in with queen deuce.
Mark's got ace king here in seat 9. He's going to make it 20 to go. And a call here. Big lick suited in seat 4, 96. 8-7 of diamonds also calls from up front. So $60 three ways.
Here we have the suited connectors against the ace king.
Wow, what a flop for seat 4 there. He's got a gut shot and a flush draw.
Oh, it's huge.
And is Mark in a continuation bet? He does. This is a hand where, Hrosh can really he check raises all in here, Dave.
I like to play. Now, Mark's interesting hand here. I don't mind the bet by Mark. Normally, if a jack-10 flop, I don't like it. But in this case, Mark bets it. He has a gut shot. He has overcards. He also has the ace of spades in his hand.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if you can call this now. Look, he's actually an underdog.
Hrosh there, I mean, he has Mark covered.
Yeah.
So Mark does not call.
No, obviously, I don't mind the lay down by Mark. I'm saying, but I don't mind the come out and the continuation bet there.
No, not at all.
Because you got to look at it and go, well, if I just get called by a jack, I have a lot of outs. If I get called by a 10, I have a lot of outs.
Nothing wrong with what Mark did there. Button moves over here to seat 4. Interesting email here by Dave Jones. We'll get to it in a second about the value of stealing blinds. Because he says there's no value in stealing blinds. That statement sort of bothers me, and I'll get to that in a second here. Seat 4 here is going to raise to 20 with pocket 7s. Pajeto's got pocket 8s. He's probably going to call.
Yeah, Bart sort of bothers me, but I learned to live with it.
Wow, and I think everyone's going to come in here for 20, and they do.
Hey, that's great for Pajeto, huh? He hits his set, he gets maximum value.
$140 pot here. Look at all the pocket pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4 pocket pairs. Any set here?
No.
Nope.
And no jack. So Pajeto is still in the lead.
Oh, you got lucky.
Amazingly, Pajeto is still in the lead here.
And I do not believe that Hrosh bet that flop. He did not. Turns a king. And Jay's still in the lead.
Yeah, but how does he know that against this many players?
Now you better bet it.
And seat number 4 is, you know what? I'll take a shot at it. Why not? And he has the second best hand.
Nope. Checked around again. And the river's a jack. And now if you're Jay, can you start to piece together that your hand might be good, or there's also a possibility someone might be in there with 9s or 10s that could beat you.
I check it, and no, 8s are going to win this down.
It's checked all the way down here.
I mean,
you check call the river possibly?
Depending on who bets, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's checking the I mean, the only player that might screw you up is the guy in early position who checked the jack front, then got scared when the king came out, and now made trips so he bets.
Yeah, it's funny. If a guy from, Jay there was, I think, in second position. He was in the big blind. If a guy comes out on the river and bets from up front, can you call with like 5 or 6 people behind you? That's tough.
It really is tough, especially there's a flush out there as well.
Yeah.
Say something.
Is Jay a policeman?
I don't know. Button moves to seat 5 here.
Getting word that he's not. Anyway, so here's the email here. Dave Jones, the statement there's no value in stealing the blind sort of bothers me. I guess it's true in this game, but is there any value in this game at all? At best, the value is fish catching potential. I don't know what the rake is, but I'll bet it's too high in relation to the blinds to make the game a sensible one to play. In other words, if there's no value in winning the blinds, what kind of poker game is it? The blinds define the stakes.
Well, I think Dave is a little bit confused with limit and no limit, don't you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting... Now, the blinds do define the stakes in the sense that... I mean, I guess if you're playing 5-10, those are the stakes.
Right.
But you've got to realize that if everybody is $6,000 behind, the blinds are really just theoretical.
Right. Andy here is raised on the button with ace 10. He's going to take it down. But obviously in limit, there is a lot of value, huge value to blind stealing. But in no limit, I think there's very little value to blind stealing. And I think the lineup and the stack sizes define the game a lot more than the blind sizes do.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to realize that even in a 5-10 game, and obviously you can make money in a 5-10 game, we've often said that this game is probably a little too small to play if you are going professional. It's a great game to kind of learn how to play No Limit Hold'em, especially if you want to play restricted. But like, let's say that the game that Bart and I play, say the 5-10 game or the 10-20 game.
Fingers, he grabs a big stack, he gets committed to it.
Am I going to raise on the button to say $45 or $50 to steal, say, 14? Right. 5 and 10 minus the $1 rake to steal 14. Not usually. More often than not, I might do kind of a half steal against a weak player. And if I get called, I can probably take it away from him anyway. Kind of a mini raise. We used to talk about it all the time.
Look at this. Marash there is, he has raised it with king 4 offsuit, and RB re-raises with ace king. I believe that RB is going to take it down here.
Now, when we say blind stealing, hey, there are often times where I might raise in the button or the cutoff seat and say 6-7, 5-4, Jack 10, hands that obviously aren't premium hands, but hands that kind of play well for no limit. If I get called, I'll deal with it then. If I don't get called, hey, that's not. I don't mind taking the blinds.
Let me ask you a question I was thinking about earlier tonight here. If you have pocket, this is in no limit, if you have pocket deuces or pocket threes, and it's folded to you around on the button, would you ever not play those hands? We've actually had this discussion about limit hold'em as well, but I'm asking you in no limit.
Depending on who's in the
deuces
blind, yeah, I mean, depending
on the button or pocket threes on the button.
Depending on who is in the blind.
Yeah.
And how much money they have behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are times where you don't want to get involved with that hand.
Right.
Of course. Generally, I'll want to play the hand, but, I mean, hey, if there's a player that'll never fold pre-flop, right, but he only has like $200 or $180 left.
Yeah.
Man, there's almost no value to raising. And I can't get him off the hand. And if I raise it and he calls me, he's almost pot committed. I mean, you might look at that. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say, and this is for Dave Jones, is there are often times where I will raise in late position with marginal holdings. But I guess I'm not just raising to steal a blind.
Right.
If I happen to steal them, hey, it's a nice side effect.
Yeah.
Pocket aces here for Andy. There it is. Those always look nice, right? And he's going to raise it up. Looks like to 15. And it's Jay Siegel. He's going to re-raise here with 10s. Uh-oh, Dave. He's had 10s a couple of times tonight. He makes it 70. Now, how is Andy going to play it? You said last night on Wednesday that Amir let Kevin off the hook by playing aces too strongly. Now Andy's going to move all in.
Different situation, though, here.
He is out of position. You're right.
Yeah, it's a different situation. It's a re-raise from Jay Siegel, so I would actually put him on like queens or kings maybe. And I might push here also, thinking that Pajeto's got to play it hard. Pajeto doesn't play hands very strong.
Right.
If I check to him, there's no saying that he will bet.
Right.
I don't usually like to slow play things out of position.
So Andy is pushed in here for about 350.
I mean, do you?
What do you got?
Like to slow play? If you're in position, it just gives you so many more options.
And at this point, I think Jay can probably pick better spots than he does. I mean,
Nice
he's obviously a little bit different as he notches up jacks, queens, kings. I don't know if Jay leaves queens down that spot, but 10s, boy, I mean, you're really only ahead to 9s.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, when you're not that deep, it's really tough to get away from queens and kings. I would go as far as to say it's probably incorrect to lay down kings in this game ever. Because a lot of the players are just beginners, and they could be moving in with ace king, ace queen.
We've got a little post here by Chester on 2+2 says, "Dear Bart and Tuck, you guys should get yourselves in the Guinness Book of World Records as the commentators with the most hours of live poker. Nobody else should be close." How does one submit themselves for that?
I don't know, Bart. I feel like the Brady Bunch. Wasn't it Peter Brady who was trying, or was it Bobby Brady, who was trying so hard to get into the Guinness Book of World Records? So they did the, what was it called? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Is anybody listening to me? Seesaw? And they seesawed for like him and Cindy, Bobby and Cindy seesawed for like 3 days straight.
Got a raise here by pocket threes here by Arby. Dave, we were going to put up the hand with Barry Woods and Ed in 10 minutes here. 8:15 in 10 minutes. So everyone stay tuned. And it looks like Crush there called, so it heads up Queen 8 of Hearts against pocket threes. Wow, Jack 8-10 here. Parash is he's outflopped him.
Pretty ugly flop for Arby.
Well, Arby's going to make a little continuation bet here. And Parash quickly calls with bottom pair.
Well, I gotta tell you, if Arby fires again here, he should be able to take this down. I mean, Harash's got 2 hearts. He's got bottom pair. I mean, Harash's got nothing.
And, you know, this is actually a great example. When I don't know if we can leave this board up here after this hand. Parash is going to fold. If you're going to play threes like this, now he wasn't on the button, but let's say you raise with threes in late position, you get it heads up. So many people, they look at that flop, they bet once, and the guy calls them, and now the turn comes ace. Now it is the third club, and then for some reason they shut down. They're like, oh man, I can't beat a flush, I can't beat an ace. I think you have to use that scare card there.
Well, you've got to realize
You
that
have to use it. It's a great bet there by threes on the turn.
if a card looks scary to you,
Right.
it probably scares your opponent also. You can't just immediately assume they have that hand.
Yeah.
You know, I had the interesting conversation with Paul, and you know Paul, obviously. Paul plays really, really tight in the no-limit game. And this is not the same Paul that's known on the show. This is a different Paul. Really tight Paul, we'll call him. Anyway, he actually said he had pocket queens, and a guy showed him ace queen and said, oh, he goes, I don't want you to call me with that. He goes, I'd rather you call me with pocket nines or something. And I was sitting there going, really? Would you? I go, because if an ace falls, you can get away from your queens pretty easily. I go, if a 9 falls, you go broke. I go, it just didn't make any sense to me. And you wonder if a player like that has a grasp of no-limit hold'em cash games. I would much rather, if I have a pocket pair, I would much rather somebody call me with ace-king every time than a smaller pocket pair. Yeah, I might lose,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm not going to lose much.
Seed 8 is going to raise here to 20. Well, you know, that gentleman you're talking about, he's a very, very tight player. I actually had this discussion with you off the air. You know, a lot of tight players don't, you know, and that guy in particular kind of plays it backwards where I've seen him flop the nuts. Just check it all the way through because he says, I don't need a bet. And it's just,
Yeah,
you know, you've got to
clearly
really
does not have a grasp.
If you want to, you know, we always say it, if you want to take your game up to the next step, it's not just about playing the cards. You know, you got to play your position. You have to understand some of the other more advanced fundamentals. Building yourself a pot with a big hand. How else are you ever going to win big? Unless you're just looking for a donk to kind of pay you off, right? Pocket queens here for seat 4. And he's in the big blind.
But I just think of hands, I mean, especially if you're playing deep stack no limit. I don't mind people. I mean, ace, kings, and hands, like, those aren't hands that are going to break me.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm real deep and I have aces, if I have kings, I want an ace calling me. I don't want pocket 4s calling me.
Right.
I don't want 4 or 5 calling me. Those are the hands that actually scare me.
So it gets limped around here to the big blind, and he bets 45, or he's going to raise 45 here out of the blind. Wow, and look at this. Art is going to make the call with 7s. But, Dave, I don't think that there's anywhere close to enough amount of money that Art has or Parash has there for him to make that call for 45 with 7s. Here we go to the flop. Wow, top set. And seat 4 checks, and I think Art checked right behind him. Turns a deuce.
Talk about reverse implied odds here if Art goes to 7.
bet I call. Save your money, man.
Anything you bet, I call.
Look at that, he bets, and Art quickly calls. And Art is drawing dead. River's a 9.
He's open-ended now.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Move all in then.
I'm all in.
He's going to move all in.
Come on, count it. Save your money, Art. I'm not saving my money. Count your rest.
It's 150. Art is trying to ask him how much it is. These guys are still speaking a foreign language at the table after they got kicked out of the casino last night. And this is going to be about a $300 pot, about $150 for Art to call. The only thing that Art can beat here is 2 high cards, right? Or say pocket 5s.
5-7?
Remember,
No, it can't be
Parash,
5-7.
I mean,
5-7 got there.
He did raise out in the big blind.
Well, I
as well.
right, I was just trying to think of some hands though. 5-7, 7-9.
Yeah.
I don't bluff, Art.
And he showed him. Showed him the 3 queens.
Interesting post here on 2+2 by Baron Vangertoth. Says Tuck, and this is actually really well written, and he's very true. Hey, far be it that Shirley isn't trying to capitalize on her looks. Hey, let's look at her site and click around the various links. TNA and more T ahoy. She clearly is trying to push herself as a babe of poker. Hey, I obviously have no problem with that.
Right.
Women like the Kathy Liebers of the world can only get by on their skill, and with much more of the real money in poker being in merchandising, can you blame women for, well, being women and doing what women have done for ages? Cater to men. It's sexist to try and make them do otherwise. Of course, hey, I have no problem with that. As far as I'm concerned, you use every asset you have.
Right. Pocket kings here for Hector. T-minus about 5 minutes until the big Barry Woods hand here.
And I got to tell you, if I thought I could wear hot pants, you know, and a little tight shirt and I could get something out of it, I'd do it.
Hector's going to make it 25 to go here with kings. And the blind is going to call here with queen 10 offsuit. And Art calls with 8-5 offsuit. He might be a little bit steaming. Flop comes out 9-5-3 all hearts. Jay Siegel is not in the hand. Queen 10 here.
Yeah, Hector's in really good shape here. I mean, he's in really, really good shape.
Yeah, he gets checked to him. He bets.
40.
He bets 40.
Nice, easy bet. Keep your opponent in there. And Art is going to...
Well, RB folds, but Art calls. Oh, man. Well, Art's got a pair, and he's got a lower flush draw.
Needs a 5 or an 8.
Oh, the turn's an 8.
Are
you kidding me? An offsuit 8, and he moves all in. Oh, my God. He's going to move in for 150, about the size of the pot.
Well, I mean, you can make the argument here. Okay, he called $40 to possibly win whatever was in the pot, plus the implied odds of 150. I mean, you might look at it and going, well, he's calling 40 to win about 300. Because he's probably going to double up here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing, though, is that you have to put this guy in a range of hands for him to pay him off. I mean, the other thing, too, is, though, you don't know where you're at. You're out of position if a heart comes as well. I mean, that's the best card he could possibly have seen, or a 5. If you're Hector, what do you put this guy on? I mean, he check called the flop, and now he's betting the turn. The pot is about 300, 150 to call. So I would say, actually about maybe $400 pot, 150 to call. Getting over 2 to 1.
I mean, I think with the King of Hearts, I think you have to call this. You also have to put him on a range of hands, and you go, well, if he doesn't have the flush and he has 2 pair, I might have other outs also. Yeah. If he's got the straight, somehow he flopped me at 6-7, okay, well, then I'm only drawing dead to a heart.
Well, you can see there by the percentages, getting 2 to 1, he should call here.
I mean, the only hand that you're dead against is the ace-high flush. You know what? If he's got an ace-high flush,
releases it.
Wow, and the river would have been a...
Big boy poker, brother.
And the river...
Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
Queen of Hearts.
And Hector would have won it. And Hector actually would have won that with a king, a heart, a 9, or a 3. I think clearly he needed to call that. And what do I know? Hey, no implied odds.
So, Dave, we're going to do one more hand, and then we're going to cut away. And we are going to be able to talk over ourselves. Or me and Shirley, at least.
Kings, queens.
But I don't think we're going to really... We don't really need to, so hold back a little.
I won't say a thing. I'm just going to watch it. I don't remember the hand.
You're not King of Hearts, huh?
Anytime Barry Woods loses a hand, I'm always interested in it.
You only had 1 out.
You had 2 pairs?
With a heart. Yeah. 2 pair with a heart. You got 1 out.
I believe you.
Daniel is raised here to 20 with King 10 of diamonds. And I'm going to call here by Frosh with Ace Queen.
At 8-5,
And here we go, 3 ways. Ace 8 of diamonds in there as well. Queen, Queen 7, and seat 4's got trips.
Yep.
And he just smooth called it. And look at seat number 4. He's going to lead right out with his trips, Dave. Or excuse me, that is Arby who leads out with a bluff. That's 25 with Ace 8 of diamonds. Total bluff. Now, Daniel is the pre-flop raiser. He calls with King 10. And now it's over to the button who has the real hand, and he's just going to smooth over call here. Here we go to the turn. The turn's a jack. Now
wow,
Daniel's open-ended straight flush draw, and Arby's got the nut flush draw.
Hey, I'm going to throw this out at you. The ace of diamonds comes, we've got a jackpot.
Yeah, I have to bet.
Yeah, well, Arby has the ace
Oh, no, we
in his
don't.
hand.
I'm sorry. I got excited for a second. For some reason, I thought it was aces full of queen. That's not.
It
It's the way
wouldn't even
around.
be a jackpot. Yeah.
But we see fireworks. How's that?
Yeah.
Well, it would be really exciting.
Arby continues to bet, and now Daniel, I don't know why he called the flop, but he's picked up a monster draw on the turn.
How about a queen? No, queen would be quads. It's no good. 9 of diamonds? No.
Why did Daniel call the flop? Maybe he just
Because
thought
he
the
knew
guy
the
was...
jack of diamonds was going to come.
Yeah. And he moves all in, and now Harash is looking at it like, did this guy fill up here, maybe on the turn?
He's not looking at it like that.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head just to
No,
make
you're
it look
right.
like an act. So he can keep in Arby behind him.
This is going to be a big pot here, folks, and I think
Look at
Arby...
him. Shake my head. Oh, what do I do with my trip queen?
All right, yeah, but how about this, though? I mean, he has to raise here in this spot, though, right?
Why?
What did you say?
I call.
He calls.
Why does he have to raise?
Well, he's got a guy behind him.
So?
Look at the draws.
Yeah, but they're all on draws?
Arby folds. Well, Daniel is going to need to hit a 10 or a diamond. An ace is no good here. Almost a $500 pot. And the river is an ace, and that gives Daniel a straight, but Harash there fills up. The ace was not good. Wow.
Talking about reverse implied odds in the sense that if these guys were really deep
Yeah.
and that ace comes, then what happens?
Yep.
I got so excited there for a second. I really thought maybe it was a jackpot.
Well, here we go with the hand, and this is kind of to promote the archives. As always, you can go to liveatthebike.com, Dave, and click on the on-demand banner and get you access to every show we've ever done. You can see hands like this. This one is from a Wednesday night in early November.
That flop, you would have been.
This is hilarious, Dave. And again, Action Joe Wynn, boy, he's lost a lot of money on Live at the Bike. Maybe not so much in this game, but definitely in the 10-20 game.
We're trying to win the iPod that one way.
Yeah. Ed's going to raise here out of the small blind. So Ed raises with King 9 of spades here, Dave. And he's got King 9. Barry and Yosh are both going to call. Yosh is in there with 8s. Okay, here we go to the flop.
Ooh, 4 in the window. Very
Wow.
close to set.
7 deuce 4, and Ed's got overcards and
And
Ed,
a
not a bad
flush draw.
and Yosh has an overpair. And I believe that Ed's going to bet 500. Barry's going to raise.
A $500
This might
bet.
save Yosh. We'll see. And Barry raises immediately.
Wow.
Like he
He's raising 2,000 more.
Make it 2,000 more. Wow. Potty's now 3,700. 2,500 for Yosh to call.
I assume that, yeah, Yosh is going to fold.
And I think Yosh can easily get away from his overpair now.
Yeah.
But look at Ed's hand. Overcards and a flush draw. Of course, you know, a lot of people aren't going to go anywhere. I mean, there aren't a lot of players that necessarily might not get away. I mean, unless the guy has a set.
Right,
And-
if you think
yeah.
your overcards are okay.
And Ed's going to make the call. Pot is now approaching $6,000 here. And earlier, before we came on, Ed gave a really bad beat to Barry. Well, the turn's an ace. And let's see if Barry moves all in here. He's going to bet 3,000, about half the size of the pot.
I'm just going to guess, but I got to guess
$3,000
Ed just
here.
calls us rarely because you raise on a draw.
Yeah. The pot is now about $9,000. 3,000 to call. So Barry made a Barry played this set hard. Half pot size bet here on the turn.
He's got a set. I mean, he might put Ed on queens.
And he's going to make the call, Shirley. He's going to make the call. Over a 10, we got $12,000 here. Ed needs a spade. And the river's a spade! There it is! And Ed's going to move all in. And Barry had
Barry
a
knows
bad
Barry
beat.
can lay this down.
Barry had a bad beat, remember, before
Let me
the show
guess.
started.
Barry
Ed's going
calls.
to move all in. We'll see how much it
I'm
is
going on a
here.
limb there.
Barry can lay this down.
Looks like about 7,000. How much does Barry have left?
Barry
That's
can
the
lay this
issue.
down. Barry can lay this down.
He's got him Ed covered. So the pot is about $20,000, $7,000 for Barry to call.
Here. He can't
Oh,
either, Dave.
wow. This is
Wow,
going to
that
be
would be-
one of the
Hell,
biggest
man,
hands
you gotta
in the
think
history of Live at the Bike.
Line, but that means nothing with this Ed.
Already 20,000. If Barry makes the call, it will be the biggest hand.
Good Barry. Oh, man. You know, he's had a hard time laying these things down. I think he's going to lay this one down.
About 7,000. It's 7,000 in for 20,000. He can't beat a 3 here either.
Right.
He can't beat a 3 here. He can't beat a flush here. $7,000 bet into a $20,000 pot. Oh, he's going to make the call. There it is, Shirley.
my God,
There it is,
Barry.
the biggest hand in the history of Live at the Bike. There's the flush, and Ed's going to take down a $27,000 pot. And Barry played it hard. The only thing I can say, I got to say, the only thing I can say about that hand is I thought he'd actually push harder on the turn, Shirley. He bet $3,000 into a $6,000 pot there. Could a case be made that he might have actually let Ed get there by betting that amount
if
on
you
the
bet
turn?
that amount, and then you have to lay that hand down, and we just talked about this last week, me and Barry. That's why it was positive he was laying this hand down.
Wow.
We talked about specifically Ed.
Yeah.
That when Ed fires into the pot, Ed has a hand. He calls off a lot of chips when, with second pair, top pair, weak kicker, he calls a lot of chips, but when he fires those chips in the pot, he has something. And, I mean, he already forgot, or, I mean, he let his emotions control his decision.
Well, that was fun, Dave. Kind of felt like a little bit of cheap seats.
I like the live to bike tip. I think that was kind of cool. I have, yeah. I can hear you.
A little quiet,
Yeah.
They're kind of talking over the.
It's like Mystery Science Theater. I mean, I actually feel like the weird thing is I couldn't really. I know you could hear that, and you were very familiar with the hand.
Yeah.
I had heard about the hand, but I never saw it actually.
That was really interesting.
I mean, the only thing I'll say is, I mean, you can all say, well, easy lay down for Barry. Obviously, you guys see it via spades. But is there any way that Ed could have pocket kings there and try to represent?
I mean, possibly. I mean, the other thing, the funniest thing that happened as well was that hand led to Barry Woods a couple weeks later laying down a hand where he had tens and the board was wrapped. He raised it out of the blind. I think Ed called ace king. Barry fired out on the flop. Ed called him. The turn came blank. Barry checked fold because Ed moved all in on the turn, and it kind of confused Barry, remembering that hand, I'm sure.
He's a very good player.
Button moves over here to seat number 8. Okay, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
Okay, I want to go through some of these emails while you do that here.
5-way action here, limped rounds.
Let's Trade DNA says that Evelyn Ng is not even good looking. I would rather sleep with Bart before I sleep with her.
Seat number 3 here, he's got bottom 2 pair. He's going to come out and bet with queen 9.
Just the record, I don't want to sleep with either one of them.
He bets 30. The button here.
Hey, you guys want a drink?
We're going to go without cards here this hand. The button here, I believe. There we go.
Ace 4, queen 9.
Yeah. Kelly, Mark gets away from the ace 4.
Cocktail.
Now again here for Kelly, he really want to get involved with ace 4 here.
That's the problem with the hand. I mean, you can't really be a big hand. Daniel's supposed to doesn't really get much action. Another email here from Robert, actually Bobby D, says, hey man, I forgot 2 more things about Evelyn. And I guess, different strokes for different folks, right? She can do great chip tricks, and she's hot.
And I'm only down 590
He
now.
says, as usual, you guys are my best entertainment on the net. Dave Jones here. He's talking about, now we're going back to the value of that years. Putting it another way, the value of this game is basically education, or entertainment-wise. You've got to realize that a lot of these players, Dave, come here for recreation. They come and they play poker to have a good time.
Cocktails.
They figure, okay, I've got $40 or $50 or a couple $100 in disposable income. I'm going to have a good time. It's more fun than taking a little movie and get it right.
Buttons over here in seat number 9.
I mean, I would say the vast majority of players don't do it to make a living.
Seat 8's going to raise here to 30 with deuce 5 offsuit. Now Hector, did Hector just fold pocket 9s? Wow, Hector folded pocket 9s, David, from up front. Wow.
Now we go into this a little more. Because wouldn't it make sense to play it if the stakes matter? Of course the stakes matter. You just have to realize that when the blinds are so small relative to the chip stacks and how much you have to bet to steal those blinds, it doesn't become as valuable. Now in limit hold'em, if you're playing a 20-40 game, I make it $40. But the small blind and the big blind, there's $30 in there, so I'm betting 40 to win 30. Okay, that makes somewhat sense. If I get called, hey, I still might win the pot.
Right.
Okay? And I also have position on the guy. But now let's say if I'm on a blatant steal and no limit hold'em, okay, against a tough player. I'm betting, say, $30 to win in this game. 7.
It's an easy question.
And by the way, there is a drop. Even if there's no flop, they still take $1 to modify.
Right.
It's easy. It's like a simple.
Button here moves over to seat 1.
No, I want one person to bet $5 up.
No, man, it's not this guy's.
It's not a hard
And seat
question,
1's going
I
to
swear
raise
God.
here to 20. He's got King Jack of clubs. Kelly on the
No,
button.
it's $5.
Got an early position
$5,
limp.
guys. It's $5.
Hector calls with 5s. And that's why maybe, I don't
Nice
know,
lay down by Daniel.
maybe Hector didn't have 9s last hand, because now he calls with 5s. Last hand he folded 9s. That's
It's an easy
unbelievable.
question, guys. I swear to God.
Three-way action here. King Jack, King 4-8 here, and Kelly with King Jack's got top pair. And I think that Kelly's going to bet. He does.
And I don't think Hector can get involved there. Easy lay down for Hector. And Hiroshi's got nothing either.
It's gonna be this guy.
Yep.
We got another email here from T. Zompu.
Wait a minute. Is Harash going to call here?
Was he going to make a play on it? And I jumped the gun last night, and George ended up moving all in. Remember
Right.
that?
On the river.
No,
Check
he's gonna
raise on the
lay
river.
down.
Yeah.
He says, hey, man, guys, what the fuck? You're envious on a girl? How are you comparing yourself with a girl? I don't understand. And actually, I think we misunderstood. We're actually not comparing ourselves with a girl. If anything, I'm comparing everyone Ng with other girl players.
Anybody $5 bet? Anything? $5 bet?
What is it, man?
Well, it's an easy question,
Oh,
man.
this is the
Guys,
question
you're
here.
so cheap.
Fish on a Mission was talking
Anybody.
about. He said there's no rape or steal pre-flop, and actually there is.
Stop rush, man. I'm zoning on you right now.
I love keeping the show interactive.
Zone in one of those stacks.
$5, guys. Anyway,
And
Jay.
Dave Jones here disagrees. Well, we'll have to go for readings. Dave.
It's such an easy question, guys.
And this is the one I was really waiting for. R.D. Hickman over here. Finally come out. He goes, hey man, perfect baked potatoes. You punch four coals with potatoes, boil them for 15 minutes, and then bake for
Wait, if you
25,
guys
30
know the
minutes.
answer, don't yell it out. I check.
Sweet, moist,
Please
and
don't
good
yell it out.
stuff.
All right, please. Okay, please, guys.
Thanks
And
a
if
lot.
you guys
Appreciate
want,
the email.
nah, it's stupid, man. Someone has to bet with me. It's $5. $5 here. $5 for you. You know that, don't you?
We got a nice email here from Empire Rules. It's kind of more of a complex question, and we might answer that question in the inside straight. Now, the inside straight is, we got all diamonds out there. Queen, 7, 6 of diamonds. Now, Hiroshi's got an interesting hand. He's got ace of diamonds with a pair. And the diamond comes, we talk about reverse implied odds. Is Hector going to get involved with a king here? And sure enough, look at that. Hiroshi actually checked it to Hector. Hector bets it, and now Hiroshi's probably going to move all in. Now, normally in a big game against a tough player, I actually would not be raising here with the ace of diamonds. Sometimes you've got to be aware there is a straight flush out there.
Yeah, obviously 9, 10 of diamonds or 4, 5 is a straight flush.
And that's only against a really tough player.
Right.
But in this game, against this kind of competition, I raise every single time. If it's got the straight flush, hey, you're going to get my money. And this is talking about reverse implied odds. It was funny. Hiroshi bet the entire way. Hector called him, thinking, okay, I got the king of diamonds. Sure, reverse implied odds.
Hey, that's great.
And Hector's put to the test here. He called the whole way, hoping for a diamond. Well, now he got it, and he doesn't know what to do. Problem with drawing to the second nut hand. You can't play it strong.
Show me 1 for 5. You can't? 1?
Anyway, while he thinks about this, I just want to let you know about the inside straight. The inside straight is kind of a poker roundtable. It's really cool. It's where Bart and I, we kind of talk to some local professional poker players. Sometimes we'll get Barry Greenstein. Sometimes we'll get some local cash game players. And we'll all sit around and we'll answer your questions. So send them in. And seat number 2 is going to call. Hector calls it. He gets there with the diamond, and he loses another $100. Talk about reverse implied odds. Anyway, so we're going to answer your emailed questions on the Inside Straight. Now, the only way to get to the Inside Straight is you have to actually subscribe to the archives.
And how do you do that?
Well, you just go to liveatthebike.com.
Yeah.
Top left-hand corner, you click on the archive banner, and for just $14.95 a month, you get every single show we've ever done, plus our special features like the Inside Straight.
Got an email here from Barry Woods. He says, thanks for the memory, guys.
Actually, I love the, okay, I suck. I don't have to be reminded on my day off. I gotta tell you, I still don't think it was that bad a call. And he's getting almost 3-1 on his money, and the pot is $12,000. I mean, surely he was sitting in the booth saying, "Oh, well, it's an easy laydown." I don't know how easy it is. I mean, is there any way that Ed was sitting there with his kings going, "Shit, I don't have the best hand here. I'll just move in." I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing that out at you. When he only has to be doing it, say, 1 out of 4 times for it to be the right call for Barry.
Right.
These guys, anyone.
15.
Stop, Roger. Non-stop, man. Non-stop, man. I'm gonna get kicked out, right? 35?
Get an email here from Josh here saying, "Hey, man, you guys were talking earlier about showing my cards. Well, I've decided that doing so is a big leak in my game, and now he and his buddy, they pay each other $5 every time they do it. Kind of as a, so they don't do it anymore." Smart, Josh. Don't give away free information.
No, it's fine. If you know that, let him finish the hand.
Another email here from Joe McKellar. Get to that in a second. Hector's got 6s. He's going to take this down. He's got a set of 6s. And interestingly enough, Art was just making a move. And 6s are going to take it down. Hector wins the pot with a set. Art makes a pair on the river, but obviously we had nothing. Once again, we're live at the bike, folks, playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 3 and 5. It's funny, when we talk about raising to steal blinds, it's more about like, Bart and I used to talk about, if you check out the archives in our past things, we used to talk about mini raising. And sometimes I'll mini raise a couple of weaker opponents, almost hoping they call. Because I know they play so predictable on the flop, post-flop, that I can outplay them. Because basically, if they just miss the flop, they'll check to me. They rarely check raise. And if they show any strength, I can get rid of my hand very easily. So oftentimes I'm raising just to hope that they miss the flop, and then I can take down a little bit bigger flop. Bigger pot, it is. A couple of limps in there. Small blind completes. Big blind is Arby. And he's going to tap the table, and we're going to see it 4 ways, $20 pot. Actually, 5 players, $25 pot, sorry. Flop is Queen, 9-6, couple of hearts. Arby's got a flush draw, and he's going to bet it. I like the bet. Unraised pot. Why not take advantage of that and see if you can win yourself $25? I mean, oftentimes I also like to mini raise pots in position because, first of all, against inexperienced players, when the pot starts getting a little bit bigger, they are more prone to making mistakes. When the pot stays small, it's a little bit easier for them to get away from, say, top pair or something because they go, the pot's so small, I don't have to, I don't want to lose all my money on this pot. Wow, and Art calls this. Art called with nothing. I just assume the hand is over here, and Art's got the best hand with, no, actually, they're going to chop it up with a 10. The 7 does not play. And they chop it here. They're both players, it's your best 5 cards here, so both players have queens, jack, 9, 10. But oftentimes, if the game is playing somewhat tight and I can raise it up in late position, and suddenly now instead of us paying for a $50 pot, now we're playing for a $150 pot. Players are more prone to making mistakes. Another chip count here. We got $2,500 on the table now. Harash has got the most. He got $750 a lot for a $200 game. Hector is bringing up the rear. He's only got $75. And let's see how they're doing. There, wow, Harash up $550, Andy up $180. Pojeto's still up $50. And Daniel's bringing up the rear there. He's down $400. Mark down $250. Man. Back to the game. And Joe, I will get to your email, I promise. Give us a second.
Okay, I'll bet you $3. What sits in the corner?
Button is in seat number 5.
What?
And it folds around to seat 3, Daniel. Daniel's not going to play. Wow, nobody's playing this, and I wonder if this is going to get chopped up. See, now it's a position I just don't really do. Now, seat number 5, Andy has limped in with ace-deuce suited on the button. Open limped. I mean, nobody else is in the pot here. That's what we refer to when we say open limp. why not raise it up there? Put a little pressure on your opponents. Now you're getting more money in the pot in position. I don't mind if somebody calls me there. I really don't. Flop comes out Queen Jack 4. Ace high is actually, no, Jado is actually outflopped them both. He's got a pair of 4s. But he doesn't know that. He checks it. Andy bets, and Andy takes it down.
Good job, Dave.
Thanks, Dad.
I had to step away from the booth for a second there.
Did you?
Yes. Button's going to move over here to seat 6. Again, we're playing 3-5 no limit hold'em here. $200 maximum buy-in. Yellow chips are $5 chips.
And the email that Joe McKellar actually was referring to basically what kind of hands make a lot of money in no limit. And obviously, the hands that make a lot of money, I mean, we talked to Kenneth James about this, sets, straights, and flushes. And I'll even go as far as saying I really think sets and straights are what really make you a lot of money in this game. They're well hidden. You know, if the flop comes out 8-4 deuce and you have a set of 4s, somebody with kings or aces, it's really tough for them to put you on a hand. And you might get paid off.
Ace Jack deuce here with a couple spades. Gets checked around to the button here.
Now, a big hand like this, now you look at this flop here, Ace Jack deuce. Now, if somebody had queens, how much money are they really going to lose to a guy who has ace king?
Right.
You know, I bought it before that came out. I said, I had actually read it.
And he's going to take it down there with the jack. Button's going to move over here to seat 7. Jay Siegel, the Potato Man. We're halfway through the show here, Dave. Of course, you can always email us at liveatthebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. As always, appreciated.
Pocket aces for Art. A couple of red ones there.
Crazy.
Always nice to have aces pre-flop, right? Now, do you go with the school of Doyle Brunson thinking where you'd rather have ace-king than aces? Art raises it out in the blind. Now, it's interesting. Art has raised it. This, I think, is a mistake.
No.
He has raised it, and I see this happen so often, even in the bigger games. He has raised it to 15. There are 6 limbers. Once the under-the-gun guy calls your raise, everybody else is going to call, and now he's going to take aces 5 ways out of position.
He's got to dodge like half the deck.
Yeah, I never understand it. I mean, the people raising their overpairs like an insignificant amount. Queen 4-8 here with a couple clubs, and Arby's got a flush draw.
Arby's got a pair with a flush draw, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. Just a flush draw. Now Daniel's got a pair of 8s.
Now Art, I think, might actually get lucky enough where he probably will dodge everything unless Arby wants to get involved with him.
I don't think Arby's going to throw this away, is he?
Well, it's a $75 bet here.
No, that's kind of the mini raise that I don't mind doing in position.
Right.
Not out of position, though.
This is why I can't play with you guys, man. I should push all in here.
And let's see what Arby's going to do here. And again, the reason why I say he might not get involved because the stack sizes might not just be difficult. I mean, it's a $75 bet. He's got about 225 in front of him. Maybe if he feels that he could win all of Art's money if a club card comes on the turn. But against more advanced opponents, like you say, the flush is always obvious, right? Isn't it?
It is.
You know? How much is...
Now, if I had 7-6 of clubs here,
right,
it's a little different hand because also I can catch a 5 for my gut shot.
Probably the best card you want to catch on the turn to win the most money is an offsuit 5, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And look at that, the turn was an offsuit 5, but he didn't have 7-6.
Right. I mean, but no, if you want to make money in no limit hold'em, you got to have hands that are well hidden.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I was actually playing online last night on Party Poker, Dave, and a guy raised me. I was playing the 1,000 game, the 5-10 game, which I usually don't play up at that level. But a guy raised me. I was in the big blind. He raised in the small blind, and I called with 5-4 offsuit. He flopped top set of queens. I was open-ended. And the flop came out, I think I was open-ended with 4-5.
Right.
And he flopped top set. It was queen...
6-3?
Yeah, queen 6-3. Exactly. He bet a little bit and I called. The turn was an ace. He checked it to me. I bet on the scare card. He mini check raised me, and I called. And the river was an offsuit deuce. And he bet pretty hefty on the river, and I immediately moved all in, and he called without a pause.
Right.
And I won his whole stack.
So they don't see it.
Yeah.
It's just not something that experienced. Now, the more experienced players really, really do see those kind of hands.
Right.
But, less experienced players, they just don't see that straight. I mean, I'll tell you, over the last 6 months, most of the money I've made has been on either people donking money off to me or well-hidden straights.
Now, Hector bets here, and seat 5 raises, and Hector's all in. Now, in this particular case, I don't really mind the raise here with Queen Jack against a guy who's going to be all in. Yeah. But he's
in this
out
game,
kicked.
sometimes you have top pair, not what you can do here. This game is a kicker game, though. Andy needs a queen and only a queen.
Turns to 6. Well, I guess they weren't all in. They had $7 left. And unless Andy catches a queen here, Hector's going to double through. Oh, the river's a queen. My goodness.
My goodness, there you go. Well, Crackhead, no fear. He says, hey, Tuchman in hot pants and a tight little shirt. Rough visual there, man. Don't worry, it's not going to happen. My point was, though, hey, I'll pretty much go anywhere if I think it's going to help me.
Hey, I thought I was good, bro. I thought I was good.
Yeah, look at Baron Wenger Totze. Wow. Comparing the new footage to the old footage, what a difference.
Thank you, Baron.
No, man, that's not what it says. This is new line. I call him. Give me an appointment. Jonathan products, not a good.
Button moves over here to seat 9. Pocket kings here for seat 3. That's Daniel. And I think he just limped in. Oh, he's in the big blind. So we have one limper.
Well, you
For another $8.
had a limit.
5.
I wouldn't
You
have
know?
had a limit.
I think you had it, bro.
Remember that commercial?
And it's going to get limped around. And I assume that the big blind is going to raise.
Oh, come on, man. I was being all nice. You were laughing, you're smiling. All of a sudden, you got serious.
And he does raise. And Dave, this is more of a reasonable raise. He's going to raise it to 30 with 4 limpers. 15, I think it just induces everybody to call, doesn't it? You know?
Man, I got to tell you, I think they like us better. Look at this. They're all yelling at us to turn our mic volume up. Remember the days of Jive Dad saying, guys, shut up already. Stop talking.
I guess we were a little soft in the background over the that previous footage.
I like the post on 2+2 by Infinite 1. Everyone has a lovely necklace.
Prosh there is going to call with Queen Jack. And might this bring Kelly in with 9-10 of diamonds?
Top pair, king kicker, queen on the river.
And he does call. But he doesn't have that much money, Dave. Well, here we go to the flop. Ace 9-7. You hate that flop if you have kings, right, against 2 players. No, he does have the best hand.
Yeah, you put out a little bet and see where you're at. I mean, the board isn't really connected. I mean, the only hand you're scared of really is 8-6 or 10-8. Generally, if you bet, nobody's going to call you unless they have an ace.
Yeah, but then I don't want what
Well, he
happened
bets.
to, what happened to him to happen.
And nobody calls. There you
He's
go.
gonna take it down.
I was actually watching the World Series today while I was home just for a little bit, and it was actually the first event. And it was so. Was it the first event?
First event of what, 2005?
No, it wasn't. It was last night. I want to say. Anyway, I was watching an event basically where a guy raised it up with kings. Another player smooth called with queens. 2005 World Series. Not the main event, just one of the other smaller events. Guy raises it up with kings. Another guy calls with queens. Guy with king queen, the original raiser throws it away. So it's king versus queens. But the queen has position on it. Flop comes out ace 9 or ace 8. Okay. The guy with kings checks. Queens bets, and the kings throw it away.
That's pretty tight.
I mean, you're sitting there going, man, you don't even throw any money in there with
Right.
kings to see where you're at. You just check and
Well,
fold.
especially on a paired board with 8.
Right. You assume, oh, well, there's 2 aces out there. My opponent must have an ace. I was like, man, how did this guy get there?
Raise here by Arby with ace 3 of clubs.
But hey, no limit hold'em. It's a game of mistakes, and we all make them.
90, 52 and 90.
Hey, look, we're all wearing black, so.
Did you say 90?
Pocket 3s is called. King Jack offsuit here. Mark is called on the button. And Harash is in there with queen 7 of diamonds. 5-way action here.
Well, there's a 3.
Wow, bottom set flush draw for seat 4.
Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to make money. Now, Mark's got top pair. Art's got a set. You think Art's going to double up off of, you think Art's going to get all of Mark's money?
Well, look at this. Arby bet and Art just smooth called.
And
now,
Harash has got a flush draw, by the way.
yeah. So Art is just smooth called, and Mark is going to smooth call.
Yeah, and
I got to tell you, if I'm going to go in with King Jack on that hand, on that flop, you have to raise all in, don't you, with that stack size?
definitely, you're in. I think for sure you do.
Yeah.
In this game, yeah.
You have to raise all in. And again, if Mark is watching this, he always asks for our advice. So,
What are you gonna, are you prepared to fold on a turn if a diamond comes off, or if one of those safe card comes off and somebody bets again? Are you going to lay down your King Jack? No.
well, let's say a blank comes off. Art is actually ahead of Mark.
Of course,
you would know that. Well, this is probably going to induce Harash to call now. I mean, you got to bet in 2 callers.
Well, I think at minimum he's going to call.
He's going to move all in. He
Well,
check raises all in with his
Now
diamonds.
that should save Mark.
well,
that
you mean
should save
when
Mark.
Art calls in between, you mean? It should
That's an
save
easy
Mark.
call for Art, obviously.
I paid my taxes already.
I mean, this pot.
Yeah, and there you go. Harash is moving all in.
Yeah.
Arby's going to throw away ace-3, obviously. Art is going to call, and Mark should easily lay this down now. You've got a bet, a call, and then an all-in, and now a call all-in.
The pot before the all-in was about, I want to say about 250. So now Art has another, say, 300 left. He's going to call here, and this pot's going to be close to $850. And for Mark, it's back to him. And does he feel somewhat committed? He's got about $85 left.
Yeah, and he's going to put his money in it. And now, I mean, some people can say that he's committed, he doesn't have that much more money, but you've got to realize that you are dead here with King Jack. There's no way your hand's good. And look at that full house for Art, and he's going to win this hand.
Unless Mark catches a king.
All right, thank you.
And the river's a 7.
Full house for Art, and he takes it down.
Yep.
Actually, an 8 could have come on the river as well.
That's right.
Wow, that would have been killer.
An 8 or a king. I was going to say, though, I mean, if Mark is going to play it in that way, then I think he raises the flop there. I mean, it's almost like he's slow playing, but King Jack on that board.
Not strong enough to slow play there.
Yeah.
And that's the value of pocket threes there. It's those small pocket pairs, they're just well hidden. How do you just assume somebody's got a 3 there? No, it's difficult, of course.
Got an email here from Luke Heaven Street. He says, hey guys, I was wondering if you've ever heard of Chinese poker. I just recently deposited some money over on the LA poker scene. And they offer a cash version of the game. Do you think that there's some money to be made in this? Well, the interesting thing about Chinese poker, Dave, I mean, I have very, very basic knowledge of how the game is played. Supposedly, if you have 2 players that know how to play the game well, there is no edge. It's just, you know,
But theoretically, how many times are you playing that game with another player that has the same knowledge you have in the game? If you do, I mean, you know what I mean?
I assume the guys that I remember in one of Barry Greenstein's book, Ace on the River, he was talking about how he used to kind of burn off a lot of time he wished he would have back by playing Chinese poker late until the early night, where he had definitely had more of an edge in real poker game at the table.
That's a dream.
Chinese poker's fun though. I played it. I probably have about 8 hours of experience with Chinese poker. It's a fun game.
They actually spread it pretty big on the other side of the casino, the Asian side. Button moves over here to seat 3. Limped around here. 4-way action to the flop. Jack 8-9 here. Pretty good flop for Daniel. He's got top pair and an open-ended straight draw.
Betting 10. Conservative.
Well, Andy is going to come out and bet $10, Dave, into this flop. I don't know what the point of that would be. 7-8. He's not even betting the pot. A quick call here by Kelly. I mean, Kelly just has ace high. And look at this. Daniel is going to raise. He's going to raise it up to 30.
And I like the raise here. You know, he thinks maybe I have the best hand now. If I don't have the best hand, hey, I've got a big draw.
Heads up.
And ace-7 calls the raise. He's got a gut shot to the 10. The turn's a 5.
Daniel's going to keep betting there. Yeah, if Daniel only had the open-ended straight draw, maybe he would check it. But with the jack there, I think he wants to drive his opponent out.
And Kelly calls again. He needs an ace or a 10. Wow. Here we go to the river.
Yeah, not ace, next time.
And the river's a 10.
That's terrible.
Unbelievable. And he doesn't even know if it's good because, look, I mean, he checks it. Any queen is a higher straight.
And Daniel smartly checks 2 pair behind.
I mean, he's chasing a draw that he's not even comfortable betting the river when he doesn't even have that much money. He had about $30 left, and he wasn't even comfortable betting the river with his straight.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize that 7 is garbage. Garbage, right?
Yeah, I don't understand the play at all. I gotta.
Yeah.
Well, like I said before, a lot of these players are just down here. They're here to have a good time. They're not professional poker players. They don't claim to be. There we go. Pocket aces for Arby. Seat number 6. Nobody else has much of anything. I got a Jack 9 in seat number 8, Queen 9 in seat 1, 9-10 in seat 4.
Well, the point is, what are the odds of him doing that for you?
Aces here.
I didn't care. I was happy. Someone give me imagine my diamond hit. Wow.
Option.
And Arby's going to raise.
Raising. Holding 5 more.
Going to make it 25 more. And that, again, is a little more than seat 8 had raised it with the aces.
Nice hand.
I don't even know if he's going to get a call here.
Nice email here from Joe. And yeah, please, if anybody comes down to the bike and you want to stop by and say hi to us, of course. Bart and I are usually roaming around the plaza section, either playing in a game or in the booth. Feel free to introduce yourselves. We'd love to meet you.
Thank you.
Button moves over here to seat 5. Got a little over an hour left in the show. 3-5 no limit. Yellow chips are $5 chips. $200 restricted buy-in game. Looks like we have a seat open over there in seat 8, huh?
Yeah. Seat 2 also.
Why do I do that all the time? Every time.
Were you dyslexic as a kid?
I think I look at it as like a clock from this angle, and I think, wow, it's seat 8 over there.
So apparently they have a board, and
yes,
we're
they
going
do
to
have a long
right
board.
away.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Limp here.
Cheers, buddy.
Here we go, 4-way action.
$20 pot.
Limped around. 8-9-3 with a couple of diamonds.
And Kelly's got a gut shot, backdoor spades.
And Mark is going to bet. Looks like $21 with Jack 8.
Well, second pair, backdoor spades as well.
And Kelly calls, but if he hits the Jack, he'll have the nut straight here. And he just got a gut shot to the Jack. You can see that Mark has a Jack. The turn's a 9.
I gotta tell you, if you're Mark here, you fire again for sure.
Oh, he checks.
Yeah, I think you clearly fire there if you're Mark.
Check, and the river's a 9. How about betting now with an 8?
Oh, that's an obvious. So you've got to realize if you bet your 8 on the flop and you get called, just smooth called here, you can't automatically put your opponent on a 9.
Yeah.
Especially that kind of board. He might have Jack 10. He might have 10-7. In this case, he's got Queen 10. Okay? And you don't want to give him a free card. You're going to fire again. And if he has an 8, you might drive him off an 8. You might even drive him off Queen 8 or even Ace 8.
I forgot what happened.
I mean, I just doubt that Mark would check it. Now, what happens if Kelly bet? You're probably going to call that bet. Hey, I'd rather be the better than the caller.
For better or for worse. Butt moves over here to seat 6.
Bump, bump. And the hits just keep on rolling.
That should have been my pot. Pay these guys money. I can't even do it. I'm so sorry. I can't even do it. Pay the money. He beat me 10 square.
Big blind over here in seat 8. Limp here by seat 4.
I'm looking at this HollywoodPoker.com ad.
Every time I limp, he raises. Okay.
Raise here by the button.
In the Poker Pro. And one of these calendar girls that I'm looking at is actually one of my buddies' sisters.
Really?
Yeah. Shoot, I don't know if I think her name is Melanie. I think that's her.
Pocket pair. I'm telling you guys right now, pocket pair.
3-way action here. 5-6 Jack.
Or is it Christina? Oh, I've got to check this out.
Checked around to Arby. He bets with a gut shot. He bets 25.
No, he's serious. Okay, look. I put, look. This is the guarantee.
How about the picture of Mary's little hooters there?
Yeah.
Those are probably real.
I think the button's going to win this one with a semi-bluff there to the gut shot. Of course, everyone knows my affinity towards Asian women. Did you ever date an Asian woman?
Date? I never dated an Asian woman, no.
Date, quote unquote.
Quote unquote date? No, I've never dated an Asian woman. Quotes or no quotes?
That's crazy. No.
Devine moves over here to seat 7.
But have I ever gone on a date with an Asian woman? Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I never dated one.
Okay. Well, I guess it depends.
We weren't going out.
Right. You went on a date with an Asian woman.
Exactly.
How'd that go for you? Probably not that well, right? It's just one date.
It went okay.
The 10 was an 8. Oh.
Limp under the gun here. Queen Jack offsuit.
I'm not sure about you, but I don't really measure my first date by if there's a second date. I kind of measure my first date by how it ends.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I think girls kind of look at it as, hey, is there going to be a second date? I don't give a shit if there's a second date. Hopefully there won't be a second date.
Jack 7-10 here on the flop.
Gave me good cards.
Kelly's going to come out and bet. He bets 10.
Oh, no. What are you doing, man? I don't have it. Go.
Oh, these guys are just full of antics at the table, Dave. It's a bunch of Francois at the table tonight.
Well, there's like 3 guys that all know each other and they're buddies.
Turns to 3.
Betting 20.
And seat 1 bets 20 now. And Art is going to make a move. He's going to check raise with absolutely nothing with Queen High.
40 more flop.
Now, what did that 3 do? I mean, he might even flop straight or 2 pair. But Kelly quickly calls. There isn't a whole lot that Queen Jack can beat here except a bluff. River's a 3.
And his queen plays, but, you know.
Betting 50.
And he's going to bet 50. Art's going to bet 50 now. And then, you know, I mean, that's, I
You're
guess he's
bluffing
trying to,
the wrong guy.
yeah, he's
aren't
trying
you?
to make it look like, I guess he wants a call, but Jack is good there.
And,
I mean, this guy
Kelly,
Kelly,
puts
like
down.
I said, not to ram him, but he's been calling with just about anything the entire night,
Well, I mean,
right?
generally, this game here, you got to realize a lot of these players are recreational players.
Right.
They come down to the bike to play poker, not to fold.
Right.
You know, you're not going to make money in a 200 game by bluffing. You know, I have no problem with stealing pots when it appears that when everybody's missed a flop. Hey, why not try to take that? That's $25 here, $25 there, $30 there. You can take those pots. But if your opponent shows some strength, I give up. I'm done with it.
You can come in with your chips.
There's Ida.
What'd she say?
She said you're full of shit, Tuck.
Me?
She was on the waiting list. Yeah.
No, she's not talking about me, man.
I think she's trying to bring her chips on the table. She's a little upset that she might have to start from 200 here.
Why? Where did she play?
I came in, I was on the 200.
Well, she was on the board, but she's...
Last time we allowed to come in with our
Well, that's when we started the game, I think, last time. She might be a little confused. Although I guess if no one objects at the table...
Wait, I don't understand what happened, though. She won chips at another 200 table, and she wants to bring them here? Why can't she do that?
Well,
Oh, I see. It's not a must move. So she's voluntarily changing
Yeah,
tables.
but if you have look at this, Art's got pocket kings, he raises. But if you have main games and you have chips, when you move over to a table change, can't you still bring your chips over though?
No, not
You can't.
voluntary.
Not a restricted one.
No, not a voluntary. Not a voluntary chip change. Now, when we play
Table
5-10,
change.
it doesn't really happen for us because
Well, that's why I'm a
usually
little
playing the
confused
unrestricted
because
right.
we're playing unrestricted and it's. But I guess it makes sense that you wouldn't be able to do that and pick on, say, certain
Right.
short
Actually,
chip
what
stacks.
you can do, I'll give you another example. Let's say there's 2 games and they're both main games, and you get to the point where you're a little uncomfortable because you have too much money. Let's say you've won a few big pots and you have $8,000-9,000. You can actually do a table change, and only bring 1,000 on that next table, or 2,000, whatever you want to.
Well, let me ask you this question about unrestricted games then, though. When you do a table change, I know you can't do it on a must move, but when you request a table change, can you take chips off the table in an unrestricted
Yeah,
game?
you can. I just said that.
You can.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about, like, say, if you built your stack up to... You were talking about 5-10. I thought you meant, like, in the 500, the 3-5 game.
Oh, I
That's
see
what I
what
thought
you
you
mean.
meant.
No, in that
Yeah.
in that game, you actually, if you do a table change,
Yeah.
you only if it's a table change and not a must move,
Yeah.
you can only go in there for 3 to 500.
Right.
It's like you're starting over.
Right. Raise
Ace
here
king,
by
ace
Arby.
king, ace jack,
Now, Mark smooth called Arby's raise here on the button.
and there's the case ace, ace 3. There's also a king 9 out there. I mean,
Re-raise. 60 total.
And actually, you know what? And Kelly is going to re-raise here out of the small blind.
and this is one of those flops that is almost definitely going to miss everybody. I mean, unless suits come out. We've got diamonds, spades, and clubs.
Seat 6 calls, and Mark is called.
You want to bet on somebody? I'll bet on spades.
Right. $180, and we know that probably this is going to come out raggy, and there it is, 7-7 deuce.
Well, I mean, hey, when it's ace king, ace jack, ace 3, give me like 6-5 or 7-6.
Well, the thing is, by Kelly actually raising, re-raising, if he bets here, he might take it down with taking the initiative in the hand.
Of course, whoever bets this is probably going to take this. Although you never know in this game. Sometimes people have trouble getting away from ace king, and they'll commit their entire pot. Obviously, it's an easy laydown for Mark and an easy laydown for RB. A raised pot, I mean, it's really easy to give credit. You've got to say, okay, this guy might have 10s or jacks. Well, shoot, he could have 3s for all you care.
Mark is asking him how much he has left.
Yeah, and it's an easy laydown for Mark here. Mark's got to look at that flop. I mean, he's missed it completely. There's 2 hearts out there. Even if the ace of hearts or the king of hearts were to come out, he doesn't even know if he's good. Now, it happens that Mark is actually on a free roll against Kelly, but you can't play this game results-oriented. This is a clear fold.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark is really struggling with this one. And he's out. And Kelly, again, by taking that free flop re-raise initiative, takes it down.
Interesting question from Michael Feynman about double gutter straights. It's a great question, and we might answer that on the inside straight. So look for it soon.
Okay.
At a theater near you.
Now, I got to tell you, Kelly's play, I think there is a little bit, even though he did that and he won the pot, it's a little bit dangerous again in this game with the nature of how big the stacks are, because he re-raises to 60. He's almost committed 30% of the stack. He's really forced to bet at any flop. Now, he got called in 2 spots, and luckily for him, everybody had the same hand.
Right.
But when you miss with ace-king, and now you make a continuation bet, and someone moves all in, now you've committed like 60% of your stack.
Well,
and sometimes you call with overcards.
Sometimes, depending on how much money you have, you can commit with ace-king.
Right.
With ace-king, you can go to war with ace-king sometimes, even in a cash game, if you're not that deep.
We had a raise here with pocket 8s. Seat 6. Seat number 8 is going to call queen 10 of diamonds. I just got good old that's Ellen hand over there suited. 3-way action. RB the pre-flop raiser. And RB's got an overpair here. But look at this. Art's got overcards and a diamond draw.
And Ida's got pretty much a worthless pair with her gut shot because the 2 diamonds out there. You've got to be aware of that, obviously.
It's a $60 pot.
Now, this is the kind of hand that's really, really overvalued in these smaller no-limit games. It's an overpair, but it's barely an overpair. Can't beat 9s, can't beat 10s, can't beat 7s.
RB's gotten up.
Can't beat 5s.
Art's gotten up from the table. I guess he's got a real tough decision. I mean, at this point, if you're in there with queen 10 and the guy with 8s is pretty much all in, yeah, he makes the call.
I gotta tell you, I might move in.
Yeah, I'd probably
looking
move
at
in.
how much money seat 6 has, I might actually raise it up to 200 and let's see all 5 cards. Because what do I do now if I miss on the turn?
RB is pretty much all in. He only has about $50 left. But look at this. Ida is going to check raise all in with 6-3 of clubs.
Oh, and she's in bad shape here.
Oh.
And I got to tell you, even if RB calls this, I call if I'm Art. I really do. I'm getting 2-1 on my money for my flush draw.
Oh, yeah.
Now, now that she moves all in, I can't assume. I probably assume she's probably got 2 pair.
Wow.
And I probably have to assume that, okay, I can't count on my overcards here, but I have a flush draw. I'm getting 2-1.
And RB is going to call him. He only's got about $50 left.
And there's already a lot of money in that pot. Remember, she only had a couple of hundred.
And he makes the call.
She made a straight.
Turns a 4. She makes the straight. The river is a 6. And straight plays on the board here. But look at this. RB's got pocket 8s. He's got the top end of it.
Oh, man. Look
4,
at that.
5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's... I mean, Ida actually hit her golden card on the turn, Dave. Unbelievable.
Funny thing is that Ida's upset, and she got her money in with by far the worst of it.
Yeah.
He had 2 eights.
By far the worst of it she got her head.
Yeah, now she realizes.
Now she figures it out. She hits her bonus card on the turn there, hits her gin card, makes the straight,
Yeah.
and then gets counterfeit on the river and gives RB the higher straight. Art misses entirely. I mean, Ida's in terrible shape there.
And might I add,
Might you add what?
that is the real quote-unquote definition of counterfeiting by the
Oh, is it?
Shirley Rosario School of Counterfeiting. No, actually it is. It is.
Okay.
It is. Button's going to move over here to seat 2 Ida.
Supposedly this is Ronnie's last show. I think we're selling him for glue. Sometimes, speaking of horses, sometimes I wish I was like a thoroughbred, you know? After you get to run for like 4 or 5 years or 7 years, if you're successful, you get put out the stud. Oh, man. What a
Oh,
life.
those horses, man. What a life. Race around for 2 years and then just be a stud.
Yeah, jeez.
Make it 35 total.
$35 raise here by seat number 8. You get walked into a barn and you get to stud like three or four female horses an afternoon.
And they pay like,
$500,000 a pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
And Jay Siegel's going to call with pocket 5s. Now, I don't know if Jay's quite deep enough to make this call. Let's see. King, Queen, 3 there. It's probably going to go check fold.
He's out of position, and that's the problem with it.
Check here.
And is Pajeto going to take a shot at it on the turn?
Here we go to the turn. Turn's a 4. Check again.
Yeah, maybe Pajeto puts him on a different kind of hand, like an ace-10 or something.
There's a 9.
And Art's going to check this down and take it away.
And 8s are good there.
No good, 8s win.
Hey, if you want to check out the circuit, which is over at cardplayer.com, listen to it. It's an interesting show. Our buddy Scott Huff does it. David and I were on it about almost 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
Check it out over at cardplayer.com.
Kind of cool. Just kind of wins when Mattisau talks. But most of the show is
Wine
really
me a
good.
river, right?
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Supposedly, Gavin Smith and Joe Seabach are regulars, basically are other sets of hosts now. As well.
Oh, I know, that's
Yeah.
great. Well, I mean, Joe's a great guy. I really like Joe a lot. Class act, and obviously knows how to play poker. Gavin, I don't know at all. So. Fortunately, Joe and Gavin have some sort of World Series battle going on.
Yeah, they saw that in last
Yeah.
issue's Card Player. $40 raise here by Ida with King Jack in the cutoff.
I think you and I should do something like that.
Now, is C4 going to call here with Ace Jack suited? He's in the small blind. He hasn't done anything yet.
You kind of ignored that challenge. Are you scared?
I don't know. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know how many tournaments we're gonna have the opportunity to play this year, and that's the only reason why I paused.
I'm sure we can come up with some sort of fair little contest.
Look at this. I just got top pair, but Parash has got the nut flush draw.
Yeah, this is going all in, huh?
Yeah, and I think that Parash just moved all in, and Ida quickly called with the last $50 she had.
And
turns the club. There's the 9 on the turn, and he's got the nut flush.
Take it down, Harash. You guys are making me sick. Love Donna.
There it is.
How sweet.
And when you complain, you just don't complain.
Oh, look, she's all shy. How cute.
Yeah.
Look at her. Oh.
I'm not complaining. That's it. You catch the call.
She was getting all red. I think she was blushing.
Ida's down 400 here, real quick.
Real quick.
You know, sometimes that happens in this game, though. Because you've got to
Hey,
gamble it up when
I
you're
don't
at
mind
200.
either one of those. I mean, she's got top pair.
Right.
He had an overcard with the flush draw. I mean, he has 12 outs. Pretty much a coin flip.
Right.
Hey, what are you going to do?
You know, I think you can ask the floor. I'm sure they'll hear me.
300 behind number 2.
And she's going to buy in for 300, Dave, which you can do in this game. If you get below 100, you can bring your stack up to 500. Up to 300. So if you're broke, you can buy in for 300.
We're going to need a ruling on that.
Daniel's got pocket queens here in seat 3.
I want to thank Michael Sullivan for an email. He talks about Chinese poker and some other game that he played, actually, when he, from a Vietnamese friend, he learned the game. Oh.
I want to ask you about that table game, because I
Go
think
ahead.
you said that you played it at, I think it's at Bellagio. It's like the,
Yeah, the World Poker Tour game?
Explain it to me real quick in a second after this hand.
Okay. It's the World Poker Tour all-in hold'em game. Hold on to your hat.
Yeah, so you know, give me a brief rundown.
Okay,
how that
basically
works.
you bet a certain amount, okay? Then after you bet, you look at your
Kind of like
two-
blackjack. You just bet a certain
Right.
amount. Okay.
You look at your 2-hole cards. Now from there, you have 3 options. You can either A, fold, and you forfeit your original bet. You can B, raise, I think, 5 times.
Yeah.
Which, so if your original bet is 10, you're betting 50 now.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you can bet 10 times and make it a $100 bet. Now, your dealer, you're basically laying hold of there. Now, the dealer, depending on what you do, the dealer has to look at her hand, or his hand, and there's certain guidelines. Like her cards have to add up to over 13.
Yeah.
You know, jacks being 10, kings being
Right,
10,
right.
aces being 11, so forth. Have to add up to over 13 if you bet 5 times. And if you bet 10 times, I think your cards have to add up to over 17.
Okay.
She also calls with any pocket pairs. But if she doesn't call, you get your raise back, but you get you get your original bet.
You win your original bet.
Right, exactly. So let's say I have ace queen, so I make it 10 times, right?
Yeah.
So I'm putting $110 in there now, $10 my original bet. The dealer has, say, 8-3. She's going to look at it. She's going to go, I don't qualify. I throw my hand away, and she's going to pay me $10.
You know, it's similar to Caribbean Stud, where the dealer has to qualify when
Exactly.
you bet.
Now, let's say she has, though, in that same case, so let's say she has Jack 7, a hand as bad as Jack 7, or 10-7, something like that. She qualifies and has to play against you. Heads up.
Look at this. Art bet. He made trip 5s in the turn, and Mark is called with King Jack. With nothing. The turn's an 8.
Yeah.
I mean, river's an ace.
And that's obviously a sheer leak in his game there.
I got to tell you, Art has been betting his big hands the entire night. He's bet his trips, he's bet his sets, every time.
I like Art's game. I mean, he made a couple of little mistakes, throwing away Queen 10 and so forth, but he's playing the game pretty smart here. And Mark, I'm not sure what you're calling with on the turn there. 10, deuce, 5, 5. You got
Right.
King Jack. I mean, what are you trying to hit? You're drawing dead.
So, yeah, okay, I understand.
So basically,
I
yeah. So
understand it now.
if the dealer has Jack 7, and then basically it's just, the flop, the turn, the river. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
So obviously, I mean, it sounds to me like it's a big house edge. I would assume that you would probably bet.
I killed the game. I got to be honest. I was waiting for a seat in the
Would you
Bellagio
bet
poker room. I was
5
killing it.
times with any ace, and then maybe 10 times with any pocket pair above 7s or something
It depends,
like
because
that?
you got to start thinking about. There's certain it's a mathematical game, and
Yeah.
Sklansky actually developed it. It's a mathematical game in the sense that you've got to think of, do you want to call with certain hands?
Yeah.
Because if you have pocket kings and you make it 10 times, it's really annoying if the dealer does not qualify. So sometimes
Right.
you might only bet 5 times there, so you get a call.
Right, right.
Yeah. It's interesting like that. Sometimes, I mean, I actually would with a hand as bad as 6-5. I might make it 10 times, hoping the dealer doesn't qualify. And it's weird. It was fun, though.
Queen, 3 here. Couple spades. Andy's got the nut flush draw.
I got wasted on some real low, and
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think that would ever be the right strategy. I mean, that's almost like in Caribbean Stud. People don't know Caribbean Stud. You get basically like 5 cards. You get 5 cards. You look at your hand. You already have a bet out there. You decide if you want. You have an ante up. You decide if you want to make a bet. Usually you do that if you get like a hand above pocket 4s. But you can bet with nothing, and if the dealer doesn't qualify, the dealer has to have ace, king high or better.
yeah, I mean, I think
Then you win your money back. But you're risking double. And if the dealer qualifies, you lose double. So you're risking double to win just the ante.
Right.
Kind of same thing with what you're saying there.
I mean, I found that the dealers. I think the casino's edge in that game, and I don't know exactly mathematically what the edge. I did. To be honest, I was drinking a lot and wasn't really caring. Just gambling a couple $100 while I was having a good time. I think the biggest edge, though, the casino has, that you're acting first. You have to fold before they have to fold.
Thank you. Thank you.
And a lot of players just look at it and go, Jack 5, okay, I fold. They don't realize that a hand like Queen Deuce is actually not a bad hand. It's Queen High.
Got a raise here by Mark with ace 6 of hearts. Look at this. Mark has made a big re-raise out of the blind with ace 6 of hearts. And he takes it down. And again, I guess it's the right idea, Mark, playing a little bit aggressively, but in this game with the stack size, again, if Mark goes back and watches the archives, maybe...
I don't mind that play.
Well, I'm just saying that maybe if he wants to play in this style, why doesn't he play the 3 to 5 game? It's just, this game is just so inherently short that a lot of those moves just go right out the window.
Yeah. I mean, I really play this game pretty ABC,
It's like a
straightforward.
limit game.
I mean,
It's like hopping into like a 4-8 limit game, isn't it? Pretty much?
call me a girl, but I mean, I pretty much play this game not like a 4-8 limit game, but more like a nooner, where you don't get that many chips, 15-minute rounds, and you kind of just got to like wait until a big hand for the first couple of levels. Now, once you double up and you have $450 or $500, then you can start playing poker.
Right.
But yeah, I guess early on it is like a limit hold'em in a weird way.
Raise, make it 25 total.
$25 raise here by seat number 8. He's got King Deuce. Now, Art definitely has been opening pots with some very speculative hands, David. King Deuce offsuit. And again, I mean, he does actually have a stack, though. He's going to get called in a couple spots here. King 8 Jack. You flop the best hand with King Deuce. But I mean, it's almost like now you bet once and you might just check on the turn and check on the river, right? I mean, it's just...
75. Betting 75.
He's going to bet 75 here.
Nice email here from Kevin Yang. Thanks a lot for the positive reinforcement. Really appreciate it.
Ida really get involved? She's got 2 people that act behind her with Queen Jack now. She folds. And this is going to probably go fold here, and it does.
Yeah. Take it down, Art. And Art is really running this table over. He's had a nice night, huh?
Yeah, Kevin Yang said, I was wondering if you guys ever got any offers to do poker commentaries on TV, since you are probably better than most TV commentators. Thanks for the warm words, Kevin.
Really?
Button moves over here to seat 9.
No, as of yet, we have not any offers. But hey.
And I always wonder when people, I mean, look, I don't know, what's his name? Morehouse? What's his name?
John Morehouse?
John Morehouse. But I saw him on, like, FSN one afternoon. I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you want to.
I mean,
you really want to.
Raise, make it 20 total.
$20 raise here from seat number 6. That's Arby. Art's going to call him. Seat 1's going to call. That's Kelly. Seat 2's going to call. That's Ida. We're seeing 4-way, $80 pot to the flop.
Look at all the high Broadway.
Yeah. And
wow, 2 flush draws here.
Yeah, nobody has an 8 or a 4. And Arby's got some reverse implied odds here. If he hits his heart, he could lose a lot of money.
Well, Arby bets 30, and Art immediately calls, which is sometimes a tell that he might be on a draw,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Turns an 8. Now we got 3 8s.
And Art's in really good shape.
You know, if Arby bets again, and he does, he's going to take it down.
Yeah.
Good.
Obviously, you can't go for a flush draw when there's 3 8s out there.
Right.
It's one of the reasons sometimes you want to raise with your draws.
And those cards went flying there from Art's hands.
The funny thing is, if Art raises on the flop, he probably takes it down. I gotta say though, I mean, you think about poker commentary on TV. You and I only do this show about what now? 18 hours a week, 20 hours a week now.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Right.
During the day. It's nice to have that free time since we're not propping anymore. We can either A, play poker, or B,
it'd be fun
plug ourselves.
It'd be funny if we get called by like a cable network to do some poker commentary. But hey, Dave Bart, we need you in the 30 game. You can't go.
It's funny too. Last night, you and I were playing No Limit Hold'em, and we're looking over at the 30 game, and it's 5-handed, 2 props, and 2 other really tight players. And I was like, oh, thank God I'm not doing that right now.
Wow, look at this. I believe that we had a raise by Kelly, and Daniel has moved in over the top with King Queen suited. And how much more is it?
130.
It's 130. Well, you know, he's getting almost maybe 1.75 to 1 with Ace Queen. I know you don't want to call with Ace Queen, but there is dead money in the middle there, Dave. I mean,
yeah, that's the question. Sometimes you look at it and go, well, this guy's got Jack. As long as he doesn't have Ace King,
yeah,
or Queens, Kings, or Aces, there's only 4 hands you really don't want to see. If he has Jacks or 10s, you're in fine shape. And in this case, he's actually in great shape.
Pot's about 200, 130 to call. He's almost getting 2 to 1. I got to tell you, I make that call more often than not. And that is for metagame purposes. I was telling you, Dave, I made a call for $600 all in for about a $1,000 pot this afternoon with Ace Queen offsuit pre-flop. Because I just really wanted to show the fact that I will call with hands.
Well, it's funny. We talked to Jonas about this, and Jonas was saying how, hey, if it's 50-50 call or fold, he goes, I'll usually err on the side of folding. I'm calling, I'm sorry. Because I figure, hey, it enhances my image. It enhances my image. You know, people don't think they can run over me. And If it's 50-50, why not take the chance? The interesting thing is, now in this game here, I think there's very little value in metagame. I don't think advertising in this game is worthwhile. I don't think the players are paying attention.
Oh, not much.
That's great.
Bart moves over here to seat 8.
Wow. Jesus, look at the tits on Bart.
My head on Evelyn Ing's body. It's nice.
Man,
Yeah, it's good anytime you get free money.
you've been working out, huh?
It's not wrong.
Well, now I'd definitely rather sleep with you than Evelyn Ing.
I take it. I mean,
Buttons in seat 2. Flipped around 4 ways. $20 pot to the flop. Ace, queen, 4, 2 hearts.
We only can see one card in seat 4's hand.
Yeah.
No, yeah, have two cards. Betting 20. But on top of each other.
That's nice. He want to show one card, but he has to show 2.
Yeah, because we're not playing 25-50 here.
Yeah. There we go.
King Deuce suited.
I mean, I'm all for putting up with some stuff at the 25-50 game, but
Right. Turn is a jack. And looks like Daniel has the best hand still. And he went check, check. And the river is a 9. I don't know really what Art was called. Did maybe Art bet the flop, and I think Daniel called.
yeah, and he might have just gone check on the turn.
And look at this. Daniel throws a little stop bet out here, and Art makes a raise bluff. Now,
Senses the weakness, maybe.
Art bet the flop. Daniel called. It went check on the turn. Now Daniel's throwing out a weak bet on the turn, on the river, and Art has raised. What do you possibly think that Art has
Now, I
here?
love the instincts here by Art, but did he raise enough? That's the question.
He made it 50 more.
And he might have had to make it a little bit more than that. Maybe it makes it 75 or 100 more. He gets Daniel off the hand. He might get Daniel off the hand anyway, though. Nice instincts here by Art.
Might Art have missed a flush here by this raise? I mean, you see sometimes people do that too.
Definitely.
Queen 10 is obviously just a bluff catcher here.
He also could have backed into a straight with, say, King 10 of hearts, something like that.
Well, I mean, actually, I was thinking about that, Dave, but he actually would have made the straight on the turn. That's why the 9 is almost like an inconsequential card for straight possibilities, right?
You're right, yeah.
So,
Unless you fit the guy on maybe 10-7 of hearts?
10-8.
10-8 hearts, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's one specific hand.
Right.
But I mean, it's always, that's how you replay the hand, obviously. Look at the possibilities.
And that's the funniest thing. I'm looking at this 2+2 post of your head on Evelyn Ing's body.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really kind of interesting is those loops, those earrings.
Yeah.
Those are cracking me up.
Raise. 25 total.
$25 raise here by seat 8 with pocket 10s. Oh, thanks for the link there, John. To the, oh, excuse me, it's 9-10 there for Art. And Mark is called with deuce 5 of spades. Wow, what a flop for 9-10 here, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
7-8.
That's a pretty good flop.
Betting 45.
That's 45.
It's the kind of hand you can take a little heat with there.
And again, I'll point out to Mark, and I don't know, sometimes he asks us, Dave, about his play, but then he tells me that he's donking it up in the 200 game. I don't know how you call a raise with deuce 5 suited when you only have 200 in front of you, say a $30 raise.
And I guess the question is, if he is donking it up and just kind of messing around and having a good time, that's fine. I mean, hey, it's his money, whatever he wants to do, that's no problem.
Right.
But obviously it's hard for us.
Hard for us to actually give money.
Yeah.
He's asking,
I mean, that would be like the day I came back after I played like an idiot on the 3-5 game that day. Where I was just kind of having a good time with Barry Woods and the rest of them.
Yeah.
If I came back and you say, hey, Bart, what do you think of my game?
Right.
You can't give an honest opinion there.
Right. Oh, ace-queen suited and ace-queen suited. Diamonds and hearts. Seat 3 and
King
seat
Jack
6.
also in there. King Deuce, Jack 8. A lot of Broadway.
Pocket 8s. That was actually Fodoc that posted up the link to the all-in hold'em.
Oh, sweet.
Make it 30 total.
Thanks a lot. We do appreciate that.
Daniel's going to raise here to 30 from the cutoff. And smooth call here by RB in the blind with ace, queen, and diamonds. Pajeto's got pocket 8s. Art's got jack 8. And Ida has that king jack hand. She's going to make the call. King jack, very kind of a weak hand.
Is there any way Daniel... Oh, no, Dan. Okay.
Five-way action here, $150 pot.
Go club.
How about a 10? How about 2 10s?
10, 10, 3. Jay Siegel's got the best hand here.
Yeah, and I really think that Jay's got to put a little money in this pot, maybe, don't you? Why not see where you're at?
Gets checked over to Daniel, and he bets.
And Jay's just going to throw it away, isn't he?
Well,
I have no problem
I
picking
think,
your spot.
I think that's Jay's style. He's just not going to get involved. And you know what? It might be the... I mean, at a table like this, I mean, does he need to get involved there on that flop?
He's got to play a hand once in a while. You can't win money if you don't play hands. You know what I mean? He's played like 2 hands all night. I love Jay, but I know he watches the show, and I'm trying to be honest and give him advice.
Right.
You got to play some hands. You got to play a little poker.
Well, yeah, but what about this game? You mean you think he needs to open his game up in this game? I was
little
talking about
bit.
that the game is so straightforward here, Dave.
No, it is straightforward, but in the sense that there are often times where your hand is strong enough, or your image is strong enough that you can make a move at a pot. I'm not saying bluff. I'm saying he had a hand there. Well, might his hand be the best one?
Okay, but the interesting thing about that hand, and obviously, I don't mind it once he checks. He just gets rid of it. He played it kind of weak. But if he throws money out, say he's got about 150 in front of him, the pot is 150. So what is he going to do with those stack sizes? It's really a tough problem.
Got a chip count here. It's $3,200 on the table. RB in the lead with 600. Art with 530. Pojeto now at the least. He's got 190. Remember, he doubled up early in the show, and now he's got under his buy-in. Let's see how they're doing. RB up 400, Art up 330, Andy up 200. Mark is down 500. I mean, this guy has dropped in the last 3 weeks probably close to $1,500 in this game.
I mean, in that particular situation, if you have 150, you've called a $30 raise with 8s. Okay? And maybe that's the problem. Maybe you don't call a $30 raise with 8s when you have 180. But
okay.
Let's say you do, that he did, and the flop comes 10, 10, 3. What can you bet that you're not committing yourself to the hand?
What's wrong with committing yourself to the hand?
So he should just push them.
He might want to check raise all in if he wants to do it that way. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to play it. I mean, I guess if you're going to play 8s, if you're going to commit, he had 180, committed 1/6 of his stack, 16.67% of his stack with pocket 8s pre-flop. Might he want to actually push more?
Look at this. Art is slow playing the trips. And look at that third heart comes out. Check, check on the turn. River's an ace. And now Art's going to bet. Bets 15. And Andy calls him with king high. Wow. Well, Art's done a lot of bluffing tonight. Which, again, you know, Art's played it. He's bluffed a lot, so why not bet the big hands as well? He kind of played that one a little bit slow.
I mean, I really do like Jay's game. I'm sorry, I really like Jay. But when you look at his game, you've got to realize the only time he wins a pot, and it's a pretty significant pot, is when he flops a monster, or, you know, he basically has a monster, and somebody else is a pretty big second best hand, or somebody isn't paying attention and tries to, you know, bluff him out when he has a big hand. That's the only time he really wins a big hand, though, right? We saw earlier where he had 5s and Art had 8s. The flop came out king-queen. He was just content checking it 3 times there. I'm not sure if he thought his 5 maybe would hold up and win.
He's just folding hands. He's busy folding hands.
I can't be bothered.
Ace, queen of diamonds for Art. Ace, 3. I mean, in Jay's defense, I mean, he hasn't had many big hands today. I will say that.
I'm just saying that in that particular situation, I don't mind the check fold because maybe I mean, he made a mistake folding pre-flop, but you can't bet and not fold. I mean, you can't bet and fold there.
No,
$150 pot, you got 150 left. Right. And from up front, yeah, I guess you might check raise the guy. You might check, everybody checks, and he bets. But there's 5 people in the pot. Right. You never know if somebody's sandbagging at 10.
Somebody could definitely have a 10, and somebody could easily have pocket jacks or pocket queens there. I know.
Ace, queen of diamonds against 9-10 here, and Daniel.
9-10 outflops him.
Yeah, that's the best hand.
Both players have backdoor diamonds. I mean, maybe that example wasn't the best example, because maybe that wasn't the hand where he's got to make a stand.
Look at this. Daniel bet. And Seed 8 called him in a heartbeat. I mean, that was the quickest call I've ever seen in my life with ace queen.
Put an ace up there.
Turns to 7.
Well, Art asked for an ace.
Hey, look, he called again. Wow.
And he sticks those chips in so fast.
I think your value bet a 10 here if a blank comes on the river here, Dave.
Yeah, I think so too.
River's an 8.
I'm not sure if he's just an angry guy or that's just his style. Man, firing out the chips there. I mean, hey, in Jay's defense, I mean, the last couple of weeks, he really hasn't gotten any luck or any hands on the show. And it seems like he is winning, though, when the show ends. Once the show ends, he picks up a couple of big hands and he gets paid off. There's just a couple opportunities where I saw tonight where he plays it a little bit tight and weak. And I don't mind the tight play. I'd like him to play a little more tight and aggressive.
And actually, I guess the terminology in this all-in hold'em game is a raise the dealer, which is 5 times, or an all-in, which is 10 times.
Right.
Yeah. 13 or higher, or 17.
Player has 3 choices: fold, raise, or go all in. But it's not all in, actually, just 10 times.
Oh, and I was actually going to ask you if they have like little bonuses too.
Yeah, the bonus bet is actually that's where the casino.
Oh, that's what they always do.
Because you've got to pay for the bonus bet.
Yeah, it's $1 per thing.
Or 5. You can put actually you can put $100 in the bonus bet if you want to.
Oh, really?
And it pays you odds. But okay, it pays you $50, 50 to 1 for 2 red aces. What are the odds against getting 2 red aces?
Right.
A lot worse than 50 to 1.
Yeah. 2 specific red aces, absolutely.
I mean, I would say 2 red aces. There's 6 types of aces, right? Pocket aces. Ace clubs, ace of diamonds, right? So 6 of them.
Permutations.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just ridiculous.
Now,
out of 1,326 hands.
Look at this. Arby raised here with ace king. Now Mark called him with 7-8 before the flop on the short stack. Now I don't mind this play. He has check raised this flop, Dave. It's a nice semi bluff, but again, I question the pre-flop call with 7-8 offsuit in the blind when you only have I think he only had 150 left and the raise was 35. I might have had the numbers off a little bit, but
yeah, look at this. This is great. The actual odds of actually getting a pair of aces is I think 221 to 1 because there's 6 of them. There's 1,326 possible hold'em hands. And the World Poker Tour all-in hold'em game pays you 20 to 1. So that's where they make their money. Those are the sucker bets.
Is this one of these cases where Arby might call with overcards here? You put the guy maybe on a draw, or not on a draw, but maybe just on a queen jack. Problem is, if he's got he has king jack or ace jack, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. And Mark takes it down. Nice play by Mark. And once again, you see Mark. I mean, the 2 hands Mark's basically won tonight. With the 2 hands that he kind of pushed it in. One was with ace-6 pre-flop, and there, at least the draw, always better to be raising than calling.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at all those bonus bets, and these odds are all way off.
Well, you know, like a lot of casino games, if you play it a certain way, you can actually, if you were to play craps, okay, and just put money on the pass line, the smallest amount you can, and then get the biggest odds behind.
And play the come, and it's the same thing on the come.
Yeah. You actually, if you play don't come and did the max odds, it's actually a little bit better odds, slightly.
It's so insignificantly better because they bar the 12.
No, I know, but I'm just throwing that I'm just throwing that out to you.
Yeah.
Your odds are closer to 50-50. Maybe it's 51.1% to 48.9%. And okay, you're basically 50-50 there. But it's all those other little side bets in the casino that really kill you.
Look at this, a raise here by seed 8 with 10-3 suited. He takes it down. Actually,
taking insurance in blackjack?
Yeah.
Those are the sucker bets that get you.
Well, the thing that actually about craps is, and they don't even write that on the table, the odds bets. Because the odds, craps is actually the only game that, on the odds bet, they give you true odds. There is no edge. The only edge they have is on your original pass line bet. So if you find a place, I think some places, maybe the downtown casinos offered 100 times odds. You could be betting $5 on the pass line and putting 100 behind.
It was funny. I was actually at the Rio last year with my good buddy. We went down there, and we had played at the Rio. We were at the Rio for a little while. We were playing, and we got our ass kicked, and we were just really pissed off. We walked down to Barbary Coast, okay? And we're hanging out there. We found this, little casino, Barbary Coast, and they had, actually, a casino next to Barbary Coast on the other side, and they had, you could pay, 20 times the odds. And it was a $2 craps table.
Oh, that's
So you could put $2 down and put 40 behind
That's your best bet there.
I was wow.
Mark raised here on the button with queen 10 of hearts. Made it 20 to go. Got called by, look, Jay Siegel called him with Jack 9. Arts with Jack 7.
And having said that, I'm still not much of a gambler. I'd rather put my money on my poker game.
Mark is going to bet here. He bets 25. Or 27. And is Art going to call him with middle pair here? He does, with an ace on board. Well, Mark needs a queen or a 10 or running hearts here. Here we go to the turn. Turns a jack. Now Art has 2 pair. And I think Art is playing it slow. He checked it.
Now, okay, this is where the hand, you've got to take a free card here if you're Mark. Look at the flop. Ace 7-4, the guy called you.
And,
right?
Art
You look at the
check
flop.
raises.
It's ace 7-4. Unless the guy has 5-6, and specifically 5-6, he has you beat.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Look, Art called with middle pair. I mean, if the turn was a queen or a king, wouldn't you use another over card as a scare card there?
Could, but I mean, can't you pick your spots better? I guess in this case, Art's got a 7. But how do you know Art doesn't have a weak ace? And you're not going to get him off because you don't have enough money.
Mark needs a king and a king only here.
I mean, there are times to bluff and there are times not to bluff. I don't mind trying to bluff at it, but if the guy calls me, I'm going to take a free card.
Good lay
Especially now, I picked up a draw.
Good lay down there, Mark.
And look, the river's a king. If he had taken the free card, he would have gotten there. There you go.
River was
You take
yeah.
the free card there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just can't. Just blindly bluff.
I think that we've given Mark a lot of advice tonight, haven't we?
I mean, the odds of the king coming are very slim. Obviously, it's only 4 outs, which would make it 4 outs with 1 card to come. What is that like? I want to say 12%, 11%, something like that. But hey, I'd rather take the free card than just get bluffed out and try to bluff.
Arjan, cheers, Art. Arjan, cheers, Art.
Oh, look at this. The bonus in that game, actually, you also get paid off on the bonus bet if you have some sort of high hand and completion of the hand as well.
And that actually, still terrible odds.
Yeah.
But once in a while you get lucky. It's kind of funny if you have money on that.
Right.
And it's like the 4 of a kind. There was one time where a guy got really lucky because 4 queens came on the board.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And he got the 4 of a kind one because even though his cards didn't play.
Right.
You know, it's your best spot hand.
So much, like every hand they're talking about these games. What is he doing?
King Jack 4 here with a couple diamonds. Kelly's got the nut flush draw on seat 1. Now Art comes out and bets with top pair, and Kelly has called. It looks like here. Frosh is gonna. Looks like he's gonna fold pocket 7s. He does.
Well, there you go. I mean, talking about this thing. Somebody actually, I guess this site you went to.
There's the flush, and Art bets again. He bets a little bit. He bets 25. Now
Kelly should raise here. Build a pot for yourself.
He thinks he's playing it slow, but it's so obvious. I think now because I think Art is probably going to check. River's a 6.
And now Art can't beat anything.
Art's just going to throw a little stop bet out here again.
Yeah, and now Kelly's going to raise, and Art will probably throw it away.
Raise, make it 100.
How tricky of him, huh? Is he actually going to pay him? No, I can't pay. Can he?
Your balls to re-raise me, huh? Oh, you got my card.
I got to tell you, I love this guy, Art, man. Who does he think he is? This is great. Did he actually say that? You have balls to re-raise
Yeah, he
me?
did.
That's fabulous.
He made the call, Dave. He made the call. He couldn't beat anything.
Yeah,
He's
no.
calling really to chop a pot at best.
Yeah. Here, I was going to say, stop. Here, he says, using the strategy above, and I guess this site, the house edge is 1.5%, and the element of risk is a very low 0.23%.
Okay. I got to tell you, Caribbean Stud, the house edge is much greater. And I like that game. I had a lot of fun in that game.
I told you, I actually didn't find the game that bad. I mean, I played it, and I didn't seem like I was just pissing my money away. Melissa and I actually played it, my wife, and I got pretty lucky, and I think I won a couple $100. And I don't, like I said, in those when I play those little side games in the casinos, I don't really play very big. It's always kind of funny, too, because my wife will laugh at me. I'll sit there and I'm playing like 8160 limit hold'em, right?
Yeah.
And I'll either win, I'll win 3,000 or lose 1,500 or something like that, or I'll play no limit hold'em and you get involved in $5,000 or $6,000 pots. And then I'm sitting there playing this game, and I'm getting all excited about like a $25 win.
Got a raise here.
I guess it's the nature of it, though.
By Andy, he's going to take it down. Well, oh, look at this. Mark is actually in the hand here with ace-7 of club.
Mark calling a raise with ace-7 there.
Yeah, he limped and he called the raise out of the blinds.
Yeah, the problem with that now, he's actually in position. Mark.
Well, I mean, he's called a raise from the blind.
Yeah. And
Andy's raised him from the blind.
Now what does he do?
And Andy's got top 2 here, and he comes out and bets. And Mark, you got to know you're not playing ace-7 to hit top pair. It's a 3 flush out there as well.
Yeah, the problem with this hand is, okay, and he's going to call up his money with ace-7 with no redraw whatsoever. I mean, he's almost drawing dead. He's running 7s or running diamonds to chop it up.
Right.
there's nobody, like if there was 7 players in the pot, it's a little bit different. Maybe, okay, well, if I get lucky, I can win a big pot.
Turns an 8.
Well, now he's got a straight draw.
Got a straight draw. Ace-9 moves all in.
And Mark's going to call.
And Mark calls.
And unless Mark gets lucky, he's going to lose his money.
Yeah, needs a straight card. It does not call him. The river's a 3. Yeah, and Mark loses another one here.
Yeah, and that's just badly played by Mark. I mean,
yeah.
Check this out, man. Red Bull. Rockin'.
That isn't yours, you know.
Does it have your name on it?
No, I thought Evelyn bought those. I didn't think we were allowed to have one.
What are they for? What, did Evelyn buy him for Ronnie?
I asked her when I came in here. I was like, "Oh, who bought these?" She's like, "Me." And I figured that okay. Well,
she bought them because she's sweet. She bought them. She's nice.
All right, give me the other one then that's in there.
What, you're gonna drink the last one? I can't believe you. Jesus. I know, man. Anyway, obviously Mark's going to watch this. I'm going to say the same thing. You don't want it, especially he only had like $150. He's going to call a $30 raise heads up against a blind raise. He's got to know at best he has 3 outs. He either wants his kicker, which is a 7, or he needs an ace, and he doesn't know which one he wants.
Well, look at
so
this.
If the guy's got kings, you want your ace. If the guy's got ace-king or ace-9 in this case, you need your 7, but you don't know it.
Jay Siegel's raised under the gun.
There you go.
What's his minimum hand here? This is probably
That's probably it.
Yeah. Pocket 10s.
Look at all those colors. I mean, it's amazing. Jay's image, that's why there's no point in like creating an image in this game, because nobody pays attention anyway. I mean, Art actually called him with King 3 of diamonds for his raise under the gun. I mean...
Hey, look at this. It gets checked over to Harash here, and he bets with pocket 8s.
And I have no problem laying this down at all. You raise a 10, you get called in 3 spots. Hey, throw it away.
Art calls him with a weak king. The turn's a 4. And now Art's going to lead. Now Art's going to lead. We have so much fun here in the booth.
Oh, man, I tell you.
So Art check called. Now he bet the turn. I mean, Harash has actually gotten kind of the bad end of things. Some of the cards here tonight.
Yeah, we are very lucky to have this job. I'll tell you that's for sure. If you guys like the show, please tell your friends about it. If you don't like the show, tell them anyway.
And actually,
what?
I assume that Harash is going to fold, but the more and more I twirl this strategy about this all-in game, the more and more it makes sense. Basically, what they're doing is they're saying that you should go all in with strong and weak hands and raise in between. And again, because you go all in with a strong hand, you know, the chances are the dealer is not going to qualify. But remember, everybody, Texas Hold'em, even if the dealer does qualify, if I have deuce 3 suited, and the dealer qualifies
not that much of an
with
right.
king jack off suit, you're not really, it's not a huge thing.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of hands that the dealer qualifies with that aren't that strong because you have to start adding them up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll give you a hand. If you were to raise with, say, even if you were to raise with, say, king 5, okay, the dealer qualifies with, say, queen 7.
Right.
Okay, that's not bad.
Right. Arby's got ace-king here, and Art has ace-king. 2 ace-kings. And a raise here by Mark. How much did he raise? He raised it $85 here. He's got 200 with Queen Jack, Dave. 85 with Queen Jack. I mean, Arby's got ace-king.
Arby's probably going to re-raise to 200, and Mark has to call this because he's pot committed.
I think Mark is just steaming off now.
It looks like it. And he's now down 700. He looks like he's going to lose the next 200 unless Arby somehow throws this away.
Well, I mean, here's the thing with this. If Arby plays it as a call,
just call
I mean,
this.
is he just going to check fold if he misses?
Mark's actually rebought with 300. Okay.
Wow, and now Art moves all in. I think Art actually pulls the limp re-raise under the gun.
And Mark throws away Queen Jack. And he raised it up to $85. He put in 1/3 of his
But look at
stack.
this. Now Art has moved all in, and I think he covers Arby. Now I would think Arby can fold easily. Do you really want to take Ace King in for $400 here? Although it is art, you never know.
Well, you know what? Hey, once he shows in the hand, I will. Yeah.
Steaming. Don't tell me I'm steaming. Don't tell me I'm steaming. Call.
He's not going to throw it away, is he?
Because he has poker etiquette, that's why.
Wow, I don't understand how you don't throw that away with all the dead money in the pot, right? Yeah, that was a little strange.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
There's $170 in the pot, right?
It's up and down, you know, like stock market or...
How do you not call that?
Or like...
You like giving away $85? Just gave away $85? Here you go. I mean, unless he feels really unlucky and he thinks that,
Yeah.
Art's going to get a 4 flush. That was an odd play.
He would have raised 80 with cock faces.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking at this little chart, Dave, that they give here. And they're talking about, like, raising, or basically moving all in with a hand like Ace King suited, Ace Queen suited, Ace Jack suited. But then a hand like King Jack suited, you just raise. You don't move all in. Queen Jack suited, you raise.
You got to realize, Queen Jack, if you raise,
Right.
the dealer qualifies with a 13 or better.
Right.
13 or better is Jack 3.
But you also move all in with a hand, say, as weak as Deuce 3 suited.
Yeah.
And the mid-card suited.
That's what I would do. I literally, I was moving in a lot. I was raising a lot. I almost would never forfeit. I almost never folded. Actually, does it ever say to fold?
Very
It does.
selected cases, yeah.
Yeah, I almost never folded because I was like, fold?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm never that much of an underdog, am I, against a random hand?
Jack 6 deuce here with a couple diamonds. Checked around. Turns an ace. Kelly's got top pair now. But Harash has him outkicked with ace 9. Kelly's going to throw a little $15 bet out here.
I mean, obviously any of those casino games, and this one included, the casinos, they're big, and they're, building more of them because they make money in these games.
$15 bet here by Kelly.
And if Arbin raises this, can he get Kelly off the hand?
Well, he's got to deal with seat 4, who's in between, because he's got the best hand and he hasn't acted yet. Does he want to get involved with a black ace 9 here? He calls. And again, now, if I'm Arby here, this is an easy raise. But he folded. Was he in the hand?
Well, okay, I'm going to fill this out. You really think it's an easy raise? Do you really think there's fold equity in a game like this? Do you really think somebody's going to get rid of it? Now, the diamond came, but if there's no fold equity, do you even want to play it?
Mark's going to bet now with the second nut flush. I don't know. I mean, with those stacks, look at Harash's stack. I'm looking at seat 6's stack, and Kelly now has a lot of money. Kelly bets 15. Harash calls. I think you can raise there to 90, 95.
I know that's definitely the play in our games, the 5-10 games, the 10-20 games. It's definitely a fold there. It's definitely a call because even if a player has an ace, as long as they don't have 2 pair, they can't call you. Problem is, though, like I said before, I don't really want to bluff too much in this game unless I'm really sure I can get the guy up the hand. Kelly hasn't shown me anything that he's going to lay down a hand.
And here's another example. This is even interesting. I'm looking at this pair board here.
Right.
That's this chart. You would move all in with aces, kings, and queens, and pocket 3s and deuces, but you would only raise with jacks through 4s.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I found the opposite. I almost would move all in with anything smaller than 6s or smaller.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really want to call, and if I got called, I was like, okay.
Right.
But by raising, I'm going to get called more often.
Yeah.
And with 2 random overcards, I'm only a small favorite. But hey, I don't mind taking. Anytime I can be a small favorite against the casino, I'm happy to cash.
Andy's got pocket jacks here. And Marcus called with king 7 here. Ace 8-8 on the flop.
I wonder who comes up with this strategy. It's like MIT people.
Hey, but, it's funny. If they say that they're used, and this is at wizardofodds.com. Someone sent a link to us. If they said that if you use that strategy and the house only has a 1.5% edge, that's almost as low as blackjack. It really is. It's almost as low as blackjack.
Who's ahead? Who's ahead? sure. Turn off the lights.
Hold on, who's ahead? Who's ahead? 2 overs and a flush draw. Who's ahead?
Look at this. This also says, for example, Caribbean Stud, the house's edge is 5.22%.
That's huge.
And that's a game I like to have fun, but that's a huge edge,
Oh,
right?
it's huge. It's like a super roulette.
Yeah.
And God bless my wife. I love her to death, but she loves roulette.
Yeah,
And
roulette's
it just
kind of
drives me insane.
You're ahead, Art. You're ahead.
If they took away those 2 green squares, it would be a good game.
My wife and my mother-in-law, they actually play roulette, and they think there's a science to it. They actually do. They go, no. You see that guy, the person who throws the dealer, person who throws the balls? They have a specific throw, and whoever has a specific throw, they will more often hit the 35 or the 32 or something like that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Look at this. Art's flop top pair, and Mark has a flush draw. And did this go bet call here on the flop? It looked like it did. Here we go to the turn. Turns a 5. Well, Mark's got a gut shot to the 3 now.
Now,
For
this is
example,
a type.
this is where, like, if you're deep
Good
stack,
bet. Great bet.
If you're deep stack and you hit an offsuit 3, it couldn't
you
really
get paid.
Yeah.
The diamond should be worthless, and he misses here. I would just give up and check and throw it away. Now, it's a nice bet by Mark on the turn. He named his price for the draw, and I like the play. And he gives up on the river. Nothing
I think,
wrong with that.
Dave, I don't know in what casinos, but I think there are some casinos, or there used to be, where some roulette tables only have 1 green square, which is obviously a lot better.
Yeah, obviously. That's great. It's great there. Do they pay you less, though?
No, it's the same.
It still pays you 35 to 1.
That actually gives you the true odds, not accounting for the green squares.
Right. That's
35 to 1.
So it still pays you
36.
35 to 1,
Yes,
and it's only 36 instead of 37 in a normal
Right.
casino. Okay. I mean, I guess in the end of it, though, I mean, you're looking at it. If you're looking at trying to make money, you shouldn't be playing casino games. You're going to a casino to play, have a good time.
Right.
And I think everybody does.
Well,
it,
I
and
think
it's
craps
fun.
is a great game. It's great.
Oh, I have a blast playing
I've just
craps.
never been at a craps table. I mean, I get so involved. I'll sit there and bet the pass line, put full odds on it, and the come. So my whole board is full. And then, boom, 7 out. I've never been at a table, supposedly when you hear of these guys passing for like 45 minutes, or I heard some guy pass for 3 hours. You sit there and you start with $200 and you're up to 20,000 after 3 hours.
I had a roll like that, actually. I'll tell you about it in a second. I didn't roll it.
Queen
I'll tell you
deuce
about it in a
4 here
second.
on the flop. Couple people have queens. Queen jack for shape 5, queen 10. for
Yeah,
RB.
Queen 10 is in kicker trouble there. Arby's in kicker problems. And with the deuce and the 4 out there, it's more likely to play.
Andy bets 40 and RB calls.
Now, as Ida can get involved, it's only 1 overcard. But with 2 players calling, I think it's an easy laydown.
Yeah, I'm really surprised she overcalls here with
Yeah.
ace.
Now, if one person bets, sometimes you can call. But
It's not even a draw heavy board though too.
No.
It's kind of like you got to look at.
you got to put one of them. Maybe one of them's got nothing. The other guy's got to have a queen, though, doesn't he?
Turns a deuce.
Ida checks. He checks. And I got to tell you, if I'm RB, I'm putting some money in there. I'm putting money in here, and I'm taking a free showdown.
Now. Oh, bring your jack. Bring your jack. Jack and Coke.
River's an ace here. Got checked. And look at this. Andy throws a little bet in here, but the kicker is not going to play. And Ida is not going to call now.
Yeah. Take it down, Andy. Oh,
Actually,
sorry.
it's gonna get chopped up. The
Chop.
kicker's not gonna
The ace saved him there. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so funny story. I'm in Tahoe a couple of years ago, like 2.5 years ago, and I'll race this in before the chip count. And this hugely obese fat woman grabbed the dice, and she did not let it go for about 55 minutes.
Wow.
I bought in for $100, and here's a chip count.
So Art's still leading the table there. We started at 2,000. Now you see the money's added to the game. 3,500 now. Let's take a look at the differences. So Art's the big winner there in seed 8.
Yeah, Mark
Chase
down
Eagles had a
800,
slight loss. Yeah, Marcus really, he's been the big loser here so far.
Yeah, and he hasn't played real well, I got to be honest. Hopefully he examines this and kind of looks at it and plugs up those leaks. Anyway, so this hugely fat, obese woman was suddenly, everybody loved her. I mean, I actually told her I loved her. My wife was sitting next to me.
Did you offer to buy her food and stuff?
Oh, Melissa was like, oh, shut up. Anyway, Melissa actually got a little bit jealous because she was like, you love her? I was like, no, she's just making us money. But I mean, I bought in for like $100. You know, because I was, my in-laws were there and everything, so I didn't want to look like I was like gambling like some sort of gambling freak. So I bought in for $100, and $1,000 later, I was like, this is thrilled. I made 1,000% of my money.
Look at this. Arby's flopped. He's flopped 3 10s there.
And Mark's got nothing. What does Ida have? Oh, she's got an ace.
Arby moved in. Ida moved in. She's got the flush draw to the clubs. We couldn't see the cards, and the river's a 4. We had a bet, I think, an all-in, and Ida called with the nut flush draw.
Yeah, and maybe she thinks that her ace is good as well, but obviously not.
Actually, I think Ida just might have moved all in from up front, and Arby called.
And the next hand is the last hand.
Well, we've had a fun night here tonight. Of course, join us tomorrow night for a little 10-20 no limit hold.
Big time. If you want to play in tomorrow night's game, please let us know. You can call the Bicycle Casino, ask for the plaza, and ask for either Bart or myself, and we'll make sure you get on the board for it. The game starts at about 6:15 p.m. tomorrow. The show obviously starts at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And once again, like you just said, it's 10-20, no limit, $1,000 minimum buy-in, unrestricted max.
Yeah. And actually, we got word that in that hand, people are writing in, Art only showed seat 6 one card. He didn't know he had the ace king. Showed him one card.
Oh, I thought he actually showed him ace king. Okay. You sure? No, I think he showed them both, man.
I don't think so, but whatever.
Everybody's saying it. Ray said he showed them both, too.
What does Ray know? No, I'm just kidding, Ray.
I could have sworn he turned them both over.
Maybe so.
Because the guy said, you're just steaming. He turned them both over. Ace king.
Yeah.
And the guy still he didn't want to take the chance at. I don't know.
A lot of high Broadway out here. Everybody misses this flop. Turns at 10. Checked around again here, Dave.
And, you know what? This is a perfect spot. Why not take a shot at that Triple J, though?
Well, I just backed into the best hand here.
Right, why not take a shot there, though? You know what I mean? It gets checked around twice. Why not fire at it? Try to take it down without hitting.
And I'm just going to throw a little value bet in here. And look at this. It's going to get Andy to call with king high. Nice value bet there by Ida with ace 9. Wow. Seat 5 is called with king high twice now tonight. King high.
Man.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. I hope you guys all enjoyed that little insert that we did with little Barry Woods. And kind of a fun game tonight. Again, tomorrow we'll be back for 10-20 no limit uncapped buy-in. And I'm sure we'll see Barry Woods and some of the others.
Should be crazy, actually. I think Mike's coming back tomorrow.
Okay. So for everyone here in the booth and for Dave Tuchman, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
Is here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.